All right, there we go.
You can tell
So,
what that is.
We're live. I have antagonized Josh enough that he has brought the tequila to the stream. Sorry we're late. It's my fault. I was late. I delayed us discussing a lot of things that we're not going to discuss on here. But yeah, I also criticized. I also criticized Ryan's haircut. Well, I didn't say that, but they did it for me.
Well, we were trying to get Ryan riled up a little bit, and you're like, what's the best way to do it? And
I think it looks good.
It does look good, Ryan.
I think it looks good too.
You know what we got to do? Speaking of antagonizing, we got to antagonize Hutch School to let him out early.
Yeah, that's true.
So what? How old is Hutch again? He's in high school, right?
16. I mean, my friend who was watching the show asked if Hutch and Ryan were the same age.
I get that one a lot.
That didn't even get him riled up.
That's not even a comment. That doesn't rile me up. That doesn't.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day. As you can tell, I'm back. I'm back to my old self.
He's back.
Dude, every bar I go to, they're like, "You're 16, right?"
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ryan.
You're obviously 25, right?
4. It's close
Yes,
enough.
yes.
Close enough. Close enough.
Well, I had a little bit of context here. Obviously, we could cut out any teenager years. So you're going to a bar. I had a pretty small range, you know. So
Small range.
I don't know. I mean, people could have fake IDs.
That's true. That's true. You're probably not talking
glad
about
Hutch
it like,
here.
oh, they're constantly complaining about my age at the bar. But yeah, I'm actually only 19.
Oh, I only went to college. But I'm still.
I always
graduated.
No, I always tell Cal on Ask DLF that he is. I always remind him that he's like 33.
He came on your fantasy back when I was, and I figured out how old he was, and we were all very surprised.
I know. I was so stunned.
He's younger, right? Yeah.
He seems.
He's got like kids. He's got like a whole family too.
4 kids. Yeah, 4 kids.
A whole family.
Well, 4 kids.
Hey, he also met. I don't know if people saw it on Twitter.
You know,
I did see that.
29.
We may or may not talk about football today. We'll see. We'll see if we get there. I don't know if people saw it on Twitter, but he met Ask DLF Jr.
I don't.
No.
That
There was
doesn't do it for
this guy, Eric, in the Ask DLF chat who would always talk about his baby that was coming and ask Cal for baby advice. And I would always like roll my eyes and like not want to talk about it. But Cal actually met this baby.
Oh, wow.
That's
Face-to-face advice.
It's really funny because like on this show, you can see how I am. When I'm in control of the show and the host, I'm willing to talk about as much nonsense as possible. But when it's not me, then I never want to talk about it. I just want to talk about football. Well, the chat's very quiet today, but that's okay. We have a lot to
You're
get
a mystical
to.
child, you know?
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Happy Monday. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Yeah, my weekend was pretty awesome, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I actually watched some football.
Nice.
It was fun.
My weekend was low key, but I had a good time. I always have a good time. The Ravens lost, so in a heartbreaking loss, so that was good.
I know the Giants.
Lamar.
The Giants won.
Are the Giants legit?
Keep winning.
They're better than the Ravens.
Is Rondell?
You think so?
Have you? Well, I mean, have you guys
The
seen
Giants
that
at home.
statistic?
Yeah.
The statistic about the teams that have 3 losses, how many seconds they've been losing in those games? The
It's probably
Ravens
not
have like 30 seconds trailing
Yeah.
out of all the games, and they're the very, very bottom of that ranking. So I mean, I don't imagine they're gonna, continue losing. I think Lamar's gonna turn it around.
Yeah, well,
We'll get to that game later, but
yeah.
I think Bateman being out definitely has been hurting a little bit more than we would have really thought, honestly. So
Yeah,
I think he's the best. He's their number 1 wide receiver. I mean, Mark Andrews is the number 1 pass catcher, but I really do think Bateman is by far and away better than all the other wide receivers there. Just playing a normal, like Devin Duvernay is good, but like he's not a classic wide receiver. He's get the ball in his hands, let him make something happen. So I think they are missing Devin Duvernay. I agree with you.
But doesn't Rashad Bateman actually have to participate in the game?
So
Like,
he
he's
has
not doing that.
sub 4.4 speed, right? So he has sub 4.4 speed. He's able to take the top off the defense a little bit.
But what's
They have
his
to worry about
speed
him a
when
little
he's
bit.
sitting on the bench inactive? What's his speed?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he's injured
Gotta
right
get
now.
healthy.
Well,
Yeah,
why
that's-
isn't he
yeah.
playing? Why is it taking so long? It seems like it's taking a long time.
He was in a walking boot
Well,
after the game.
maybe he should.
2 weeks ago.
I don't know.
Maybe you should get out of the water.
Maybe he should get healthy.
he's got a foot injury, and maybe it's a season-long injury. And if that's the case, maybe we do have to worry a little bit.
Well, I am. I've been worried, but you know, I've always
he hasn't been practicing at all. Just
Yeah.
definitely not promising. But he's just one of those players, like you said. He's electric, and he only needs one pass. And it was like, you know, Hollywood last year. I mean, I guess not really last
We
year.
can't
Last
talk
year, he
about
kinda got more
Hollywood
volume.
in that context. We have.
Yeah,
to,
that is sad. That is sad.
I
but
mean, come on, like.
Yeah,
Akash is
matching walking
probably
boots.
literally having a funeral in his home because he has nothing better to do other than more in Hollywood going down.
Yeah.
it is sad. I
It
mean,
is.
but
I should have brought him on the show as a guest just so we could see, you know, his emotions live.
We just need you
on
for
camera.
10 minutes, Akash.
We just need you for
how
10
you
minutes. We
feeling?
just need you to cry on camera,
Cry a little
and then we're
well,
good.
they brought in their Hollywood replacement already, though.
Good old
Mr.
Robbie.
Robbie Anderson.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Did you see my post on Twitter? How I said, it wasn't Robbie Anderson. It was Elijah Moore. That was like, that sounds like me when I play football. My complaining. I'm supposed to say it's
his
about
response.
the team. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny because it's like, you know, I'm gonna stay quiet, but like I agree, and I should have gotten the ball more, but I'm gonna stay quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
so I'm gonna
I
stay
get
quiet,
it.
but I'm not gonna stay quiet. It's like
It's tough because he's right. Like he's like, we're winning, you know, I'm blessed. And it's like part of that, you know, I'm sure is true. He's on a team that's winning. That's different for him. Like it seems different in terms of
He'd
the
like to be a
culture
part
and
of
the
it.
team. Yeah. But
Yeah,
at the
he's
same
not
time,
used to that.
he doesn't love getting 0 targets or one really, really off target pass that didn't even count as a target. In those books. Like I saw that was the funny part is all the people claiming he had 1 target, but it was so off target that most statistics didn't even count it as a target.
So, okay, so a couple of things. One, if you're in the chat, you can chat. I promise.
They're allowed?
I'll answer them. It's been very quiet.
Okay.
But that's
We'll allow.
okay. And then what else? If you're here, make sure to like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. It would make me happy. I had my most viewed video on this channel ever by a lot this week when I said not to start Brian Robinson. Didn't go very well. I got a lot of angry. I got a lot of angry comments.
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
plotted
angry
his way.
messages telling me
He
that
got
I
that
was an idiot.
touchdown.
Yeah, that was
I
it.
know.
What he averaged, like 3.3 yards a carry.
It was
something like
bad.
that.
Yeah, I got a lot of angry comments though.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't care. So it makes no difference to me. And then, yeah, I would say to use the super chat, but you'd probably, yeah, if you want to, it would make me happy. It'll help pay for the StreamYard that I'm paying for. Other than that, the best way to support me is not through the monetization on here. It's either through my Patreon or I did have an offer that I wanted to discuss on here. I've had a couple variants of this that I'm going to come up with, but essentially I understand that Patreon is annoying in a degree that you have to consistently have a monthly charge, which is a lot to keep up with. And then I have to go chase you down for the times it doesn't go through or this, and this. So I'm making an offer and nobody took me up on it. So maybe I priced it too high, but I said for $50, you can have access to my Dynasty start sit, the spreadsheet that has all of my rankings. It's a Google sheet. You can have access to that for life for $50. You can have access to that as long as for life essentially means as long as my Patreon exists, you'll have the benefit of what is the $3 tier of my Patreon. So for $50, you can have that for life, however long that is, years. If the Patreon exists for 6 years, then you got a like $200 thing for $50 and you don't have to worry about monthly payments and all that. So I did put that up there. So there's that. But I haven't really promoted it much. So, yeah. What else? Hold Rondell or sell him.
I don't think you're selling him for very much.
Yeah.
With
He had a
the
good
Marquise
game.
Brown injury. Well, with the Marquise Brown injury, maybe someone buys in and it's like, oh, Marquise Brown's gonna be hurt for a while. Rondell's the next guy up. I might try to see if he has a big game this upcoming week. If Marquise Brown doesn't play, I think that's a possibility.
Marquise Brown is not
Pretty good
playing.
Yeah, do we know that?
He's out for the year.
Oh,
He
I
might
didn't even
be-
hear
he-
that, man.
He might be. I think
He's
they're
almost
saying.
certainly out for the
Yeah.
year.
Oh shoot!
It's
I
not
swear to God, I
looking
didn't even hear that
promising.
yet.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
He's out
news
for
to
the
me.
year.
He's getting
So-
like one more
Cliff.
opinion, I think.
Mhm.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, wow.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be
yeah.
out for the year.
Then maybe he is a sell. I think someone could buy in and think he's the next Marquise Brown, which he's not going to be. He's not the same wide receiver as Marquise Brown. So if you can get flex value from it, which he could support, maybe, I'm willing to try to trade him for sure.
I would try to package him with something else that's a little bit like mid tier and try to like level up if you can for someone who needs depth. Like that's what I would probably consider. But just on his own, no one's like, oh, I really got to get Rondell Moore on my team. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, for that reason, I think I'm probably trying to hold him. Like, I'm kind of intrigued with Brown going out. Obviously, they're bringing in Robbie Anderson, but like he just got traded to the team today. He's been playing 85% of the snaps. It's been growing each week. The how much he's actually out there, the targets, the usage. So, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to see how that offense kind of continues without Hollywood and now obviously getting Hopkins back. So, I mean, I think I'm kind of like, I kind of believe that he's going to keep that role he's kind of had, and it has the possibility to kind of grow, if anything, with kind of the necessity for just offense on that team with no Hollywood. Hopkins coming back and, you know, didn't look like old Hopkins when he was playing recently. So we'll see if the PDs have worn off or, you know. But
I mean,
Come
there's
on,
only one way
man.
to
You just served a suspension for that, man. I got to bring that back in already.
no, I mean, I love, but I just think the days of him being an absolute just target hog like he was with Watson and like he was kind of in his first year with Kyler, like I don't think those days are just there anymore. And I think that the coaching staff and the team has really shown that they like Rondell. They like what he brings to the offense and
His low
I mean,
ADOT.
Rightfully so. I mean, yeah, exactly. They throw to him behind the line every single time, but he's somehow able to carve out, you know, yards. he's a yak guy, obviously, and so, I mean, just imagine if they can expand his route tree a little bit, just kind of out of necessity with Hollywood out and Robbie being new and Hopkins kind of easing back in. So, you know, I mean, there are definitely some plays where there was at least one or two downfield targets for him. And I was like, oh, like that's interesting. Like even just one or two a game, in addition to all the things that they kind of scheme out for him, like that would be something to monitor.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I mean, Corey Davis. So the other thing is this week, and we talked about this, but I do have a show sheet of notes, but we're not going to go through every game in the same way that we did in the past. We're going to focus on some of more of the Dynasty relevant storylines, especially, and additionally on the things in the chat and the newsworthy stuff. You know, like I can go through and tell you that the Vikings have Kirk Cousins is okay, start Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson and no one else every week, but that doesn't help you. So, you know, we're going to focus more on the more relevant things. So to move on to this topic, Corey Davis, I don't care about. He's the wide receiver one of a team that completed 10 passes. So I don't care. What do we think about Elijah Moore though? How are we feeling?
It's Kyle Pitts all over again.
Oh, come
You
on.
think
You
so?
can't put Elijah Moore on the same level as Pitts, though, at wideout compared to tight end.
No.
I was
I'm
never in
talking.
on
I'm talking about
Elijah
the
Moore.
situation.
Yeah, but I was never in on Elijah Moore, to be honest. And he surprised me last year by playing like on the outside and actually having some success. So this year I did expect, like, I kind of bought into, okay, maybe he's actually going to produce a lot more than I thought. And lo and behold, he's not, he's being like phased out essentially of the passing game. So I like Corey Davis. I bought him super cheap in a lot of places. You don't want to start him weekly, but yeah, I feel like a lot of guys you don't really like Tyler. Like I kind of like hold on to like, oh, maybe this guy could, produce some decent numbers for me. Like.
Well, who don't I like? Who don't I like that you like?
I don't know. There's like do you like Christian Kirk?
Yes.
I've liked him. Oh, you do?
Yes,
Okay,
I do. I've always been a Christian Kirk.
There's a few times I tweeted something out and you're like, nah.
Sounds like me.
That's why we love Tyler,
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, they don't like me for being nice.
So, I mean, Corey Davis, like we're a little bit more than a year removed from him basically being like Wilson's favorite target and like this big sleeper because of this connection they kind of showed. And we're kind of seeing that again, where he's kind of the preferred target to Zach Wilson for whatever reason. He's got these two young emerging, just stud wide receivers, but he's like, nah, I like Corey Davis. I see him down. I see 84 down there. I'm gonna throw.
Stupid, man.
And so
it's
all exactly. But he's really only shown it 1 year in Tennessee, basically. So, I mean, for whatever reason, that's his guy. And so right now, especially like you said, Tyler, with the volume of that passing offense, which is very little, very non-existent. I'm worried about Elijah, and I'm really just worried about all of the weapons. And if anything, like you were saying, Josh, like I'm willing to start Corey Davis some of these next few weeks as like a lot of bye weeks are happening.
I think not. I think not.
I think you can do. I think
let's see. Well, let's review.
The matchups are bad.
No,
the matchups are
no.
bad.
We're gonna start. How about at the Broncos? What about that one?
No.
Are you gonna go for Corey Davis in that one?
Maybe.
Then how about
New
the
England.
Patriots?
Maybe.
The Patriots. We're gonna really
Probably not. Well,
they're
going to try to shut down Breece Hall. They're going to try to shut down Breece Hall.
Patriots shut down. The Patriots defense has been good this year.
I know. No, I agree. They're a middling defense against wide receivers.
The number one receiver.
No team has had a big
game
game against the Patriots. Zero.
No. I'm agreeing with you to an extent. I just think that they'll try to shut down Breece Hall. Corey Davis could get 5 catches for 80.
But you're going to start him. You're going to start him.
No.
Then after that comes the Bills. What about that one? Are you going to start him in that one?
Shootout.
And then
those are the things.
At the Patriots again. You're going to start.
I agree. The matchups are an absolute nightmare, but you have to consider some of these bye weeks, though.
Yeah. Bye weeks, injuries. A lot of things happening where if you have like 3 wide receiver spots that you start in a league.
I learned my lesson.
Somewhere
even this week, obviously, probably the worst matchup in terms of just wide receiver. But we're looking at teams that have Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, and Amon-Ra, any of those guys. They're just
this week.
Or not Amon-Ra, but
the Jets had what I considered against the Packers to be a fine matchup, not one I was scared of. I had Garrett Wilson at 29, Elijah Moore at 38, and Corey Davis at 46. They were all too high. That needs to change. Garrett Wilson should have been significantly lower, and the other two also lower. So Garrett Wilson, I still think is the one.
Well, yeah, but I think he will. He just needs time with Zach, I think, to just kind of develop some rapport. Because I think one of the reasons he likes Corey Davis more is because he feels like he can depend on him and he can see him on the field more easily. And he's a big body guy that you can just kind of target and throw it up to. Yeah, I think he had 52 yards on 2 catches this past week against Green Bay.
Yeah, so, Garrett Wilson still had the most targets. He had 5.
Yeah, 4 targets for Davis.
Elijah Moore had 0.
Yeah, we're not starting any of these guys going forward.
I don't think
you don't want to. I mean, maybe in a desperate situation.
Yeah,
just because Corey Davis is on the field much more than the other receivers.
But there's a million of those
in this offense. No, yeah, he's the one in this offense, though. If we're just talking about that, but just this offense thinks he's the one right now. I think Garrett Wilson's the only person I feel comfortable trying to hold and see what could happen though when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I think you can drop Elijah Moore in redraft. I don't think you need to hold him.
Oh yeah,
Garrett Wilson ran 13 routes.
Moore should be gone.
Conklin ran 12. Why? We need to fire the
Uzama has become the starter again. So the Tyler
the days of
Conklin
being
is
usable is done. So yeah, Zach Wilson.
Until Joe Flacco comes back.
Joe Flacco, yeah. As a Ravens fan, I know Joe Flacco likes to throw those tight ends. He always has, even when we didn't have.
But apparently, it's the CJ Uzama show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure.
It's not Conklin anymore.
It's no one's show except for it's the Breece Hall show, right?
Yeah, that's probably good.
Mhm.
So I think that Breece Hall is the Dynasty RB1 by a lot. I actually don't think it's that close. It's easily Breece Hall over Jonathan Taylor. They're far apart to me.
Would you get the 3 extra years or so?
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Or so. Or is Breece Hall what?
21.
Man, me and the age. What is Breece Hall?
You think he's
Shit.
21?
Probably, yeah, 21.
I know he's 2001.
He's thinking birthday here.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? You
I should
know
know
these
this.
guys' birthdays?
I'm getting old. I mean, I used to remember this stuff better. Breece Hall, what? Someone look it up for me. It's August 2001. Jonathan Taylor, I know, is January 99. I don't know the day.
You know what? I don't know if anyone else is doing it, but I'm gonna do it.
But yeah,
You
I know Breece Hall is
Googleizer.
2001.
May
Yeah.
31st, you idiot. May
Not even
31st,
close.
2021.
One day off.
Wow.
Getting
wow,
old.
That was bad, man.
Terrible. JT is definitely January 99, though. I know that.
All right, I'll look it up for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with what we've seen recently out of Breece Hall that he
January.
deserves to be the RB1 in Dynasty. I don't know. I'm maybe I'm not there in terms of like he's far and away the number one, but I do think I am there at this point where I mean he was already 2 at worst after the first four or 5 weeks, and I mean with the continued Taylor is out and his the third string comes in, has a great game. I think he's like top 5 RB on the week, and so I think. Yeah, I think most people should be there at this point. Like he's just looked so good. His usage, his role is just growing every week. And obviously, like we said, I mean, team doesn't pass much and offense isn't like, explosive, one of the best in the league, but he is that offense and he's definitely had them going. So
let me ask you guys a question. So if you were trying to get Breece Hall right now, right? Like how many firsts? Like what are you thinking? Like what's his value?
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like 223 early firsts? Would that do it for you?
I mean, that's what he would cost.
Yeah.
that would
That's probably what you
like
need.
before this week, I had just recommended to someone like to see if they can do a first and a second.
Yeah.
And they said that they were close. And I was like, if you can throw in just, a little bit something
Robbie
else.
Anderson.
And that's like literally any other throw in, like, and get that deal done, like do it because he's going to be worth more than one. Like he's going to be worth 2 or more firsts. And sure enough, we're 1 week later.
Bijan, I mean, what if you're trading away Bijan for Breece? Like there's a lot of people already like, hey, Bijan, once he steps on the scene, he is the Dynasty, RB1.
If you have the 101, you shouldn't. I don't know.
I'm
not trying to trade for a running back. Period. Even Breece, if I have that bad of a team, to be honest with you. So yeah, no, don't trade the 101 plus for Breece, in my opinion. If you have that bad of a team.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want to throw another top 5-6 guy in next year's class either, right?
I wouldn't do that. Even though I love Breece Hall. I love Breece Hall.
He's amazing.
Don't get me wrong.
He has looked.
In a rebuild, I'm not trading for a running back, even a 21-year-old running back.
Yeah,
that's.
Kenneth Walker is another guy that looked real good. First kind of full time.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely get to that. I have kind of a list of like mental top. That's one of them.
Okay, cool.
But we'll run through the chat. Yeah, we're not going to go game by game. Like I said, I have like more kind of thing where we're going to focus on. Like we're not going to waste time talking about the Browns game. The Browns, at least the Browns themselves. There's nothing to talk about.
No, we have to talk about Bailey Zappi. Come on, now.
No, we're talking about the
come
Bailey
on.
Zappi.
We have to talk about Bailey Zappi.
No, we'll talk about Bailey Zappi, but there's nothing to talk about. There's a couple of whole teams where there's nothing to talk about. The Browns are one of them. The entire Dolphins thing with quarterbacks being changed. There's not too much to talk
weird.
about. Yeah. And then with Tua coming back, there's just kind of like, there's a lot of that where there's not too much. Should I get Rondell Moore or Robbie Anderson? So rest of season, which one would you prefer?
Rondell more.
I'd rather have
Rondell.
Rondell more. Robbie
Yeah,
Anderson to me
probably.
is cooked.
He'll be useful to this offense just like as a deep threat, but I don't think he's going to get even half the targets Hollywood Brown was seeing. So
See, I don't know, man. I mean, so Robbie has always been like known as a one-trick pony, but there was a year where when he got the targets, he was making all sorts of plays, and DJ Moore and him actually like switched roles, and DJ Moore was just going deep and trying to get all the long balls, and Robbie was doing a lot of work at the mid-level, and I could see him doing well in this offense, especially with Kyler scurrying around everywhere and looking for pockets. So I don't know. I mean, I would probably still say Moore just because he's been in the system and they have kind of like designed plays specifically for his skill set. But Anderson, I think, could surprise. Yeah, I don't think he's totally done. But then again, this is coming from a guy who likes Corey Davis. So you might want to take that with a grain
Anderson
of
is
salt.
cooked. He hasn't looked good since 2020.
That season, I feel like more and more is just an outlier because like that was the season where Teddy Bridgewater supported 3 top 36 receivers, I think. And I think McCaffrey was out the whole year. And so like, I mean, I really don't think.
No, I think that Anderson was good. I mean, he had a couple of good years in his career, 2017 and 2020. He had 2 good years. 2020 was his age 27 season. And then 2021 at age 28 season, he looked terrible. And now I think he's cooked. So that's all. Just an age thing with him. Okay, so if you had Hollywood on a contender, what strategies, I think is the question here. Like, what would you do? How do you handle that? Because I assume he was probably, let's say you did a startup this offseason, right? Hollywood was probably, I mean, depending on how you built your team, he at best was your wide receiver 2. You probably didn't build a team where Hollywood was your wide receiver 3 unless it was in a super flex. I guess you could have. But for most people, I think he was your 2. What do you do?
He was going pretty late, like comparatively.
Depends on when you did the startup. If you did the startup
Yeah.
before the trade, then he was going pretty late. If you did the startup after the trade, then he wasn't.
Yeah.
So it depends on, if you did the startup before the trade, you could have gotten him as your wide receiver 4. But either way, he was a critical part of your contending roster. And now I think you've lost him for the year.
Yeah.
Especially since they're 2-4, the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to turn it around this year. So I think Hollywood's done for the year. So
I think a lot of people were considering him a top 20 dynasty wide receiver now. Now that he's been playing so well. Yeah. So the majority of people, that's more, I guess, what I meant.
I had him at 17 going into this week. Dynasty wide receiver 17.
So I mean like how far does he jump down, right?
If I'm a contender, hopefully I have the depth to cover like losing him. I'll probably just hold and just keep contending if I have a truly contending team. I mean, one injury and then you're just like scrambling to move all your guys. I don't think that's really a contender, to be honest. I mean, you got to have some depth in there.
Well, I mean, what if you could move him? I mean, who would
like Jerry Jeudy? That was mentioned earlier.
Jerry Jeudy, how is that going to help you?
You hate Jerry Jeudy, Tyler. Yeah, I know. So I just saw that was mentioned.
Who said I hated Jerry Jeudy? I don't hate Jerry
you
Jeudy.
You are low on Jerry Jeudy.
No.
Lower.
I hate Carson Wentz. I hate Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't hate Jerry Jeudy.
You're low on
I
Jerry
hate
Jeudy.
Drew Lock. I don't like.
How could you hate a guy with that much swag? Come on, now.
Just say you're low on him, Tyler. Just admit it.
Hate is a strong word. I don't hate Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy.
I dislike Jerry Jeudy. Is that the people? Are the people happy?
In the middle here a little bit. Like, come on.
Now, see the people. There's always fake news. That's the problem. There's always fake news about the things that I say.
You were talking so much crap about Jerry Jeudy 2 weeks ago. Last week as well.
But to be fair, most of it was because of Russell failure. Russell failure is a lot of the responsibility. I mean, look, he's had a lot of time with Drew Lock and Russell failure. 2 of my current least favorite players. They're so bad. Drew Disaster. We don't remember that nickname because that was
all right. Are you trading Hollywood for Jerry Jeudy in a competing situation?
No.
Fuck no.
I would not.
Why would I trade for a receiver I can't play?
I mean, Judy's not very. I mean, he's not very good.
Yes.
He's just. I mean, he is, but he's not like for the NFL and for fantasy purposes.
I'd trade Hollywood for Gabe Davis. How about that? For Gabe Davis.
You're gonna get that
That's not
done.
gonna happen, right?
All he does is score touchdowns.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could you get if you're a contender trading with a rebuilder, could you get Mike Evans?
Maybe. Yes. You should. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, if someone's trying to rebuild and they have Mike Evans, they're trying to sell Mike Evans, and he's not the easiest person to sell in Dynasty. I'll tell you that much.
But
So,
it's always
maybe.
hard to sell damaged goods, right? I mean, in terms of injury, like because you don't really know the full prognosis, what it's going to be like when they return from something like a foot injury. So, I mean, even if you're going for someone like Evans, you're probably going to have to give Hollywood and you're probably going to have to throw in like a third or some kind of backing to.
I'm not as worried with a wide receiver. We're running back, it's more concerning. Running backs don't tend to return from these things as well, but wide receiver, an injury now, I'm not concerned that it's going to affect him in 2023.
I think he's had issues with this particular foot before, though.
Yes.
So that's
I'm just not worried about it.
Yeah.
Those issues didn't seem to be affecting him this year.
The thing that would make me the most nervous is just like what he relies on is his speed. He's just such a speedy wide receiver that if he loses,
I'm just not worried about 2023.
How about
so
Keenan Allen or DeAndre Hopkins?
I was just about to say, could you get Keenan Allen plus as a contender? I kind of like that.
Keenan Allen, I don't want. I don't want Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen is washed up. I think Keenan Allen's finished. DeAndre Hopkins I'm more interested in because DeAndre Hopkins is healthy. Keenan Allen is not healthy.
Yo, it's his hammy, man. Will be back.
Keenan Allen?
Yeah.
Well,
I think he's going to come back strong.
Keenan Allen was supposed to come back week 2. He was not supposed to miss any time. And then all of a sudden, now it's been who knows how long. So why is it taking such a long time? Why is there a long delay? See, I don't like when there's a long delay, when it's supposed to be a week and then suddenly now we're at 5 weeks. Where is Michael Thomas? I don't want him either. Where is he? Why is his foot injury taking so long? So there must be some sort of other issue with these guys who are 29 or 30.
What about saving them for the long haul? You know?
No, I don't want to hear about that.
What about Christian Kirk plus like a second or a third?
I don't think you can get that.
Yeah, no. I think Christian Kirk is fair, like just even, to be honest with you.
Yeah, even up. I think that's what you'd have to do. I don't think you can get plus.
Yeah. And Christian Kirk has been disappointing the last few weeks.
Mike Williams?
That was my thinking is I think he's going to get back on track.
Yeah,
but the last 2-3 weeks haven't been looking good.
I doubt you're getting that done flat straight up though. Right? It's kind of similar to Christian Kirk.
I think people still hold Hollywood like higher in Dynasty.
I think people are disappointed in Christian Kirk's recent production.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why I think like if you can squeeze in, Kirk in a third, like I think I would want that as a contender.
I would definitely do that. And I like
Mike Williams might be a better target.
I'm trying to go
if you're
for
a
the
contender.
title.
Mike Williams, that would probably be more straight up, I'd assume. Like you definitely wouldn't get any plus with that for Hollywood. But I mean, as a contender, I agree. Like that's something that's you want. I mean, you're willing to take on something like a lesser usage player, lesser shelf life player in order for you to be able to like continue strongly contending this year. And it's like, if you can get like we basically listed off some of those names we were interested in.
The thing with Hollywood Brown is I think if you're a rebuilder, Hollywood Brown would be someone I'm looking to target. Like I'm more interested in if you're rebuilding and let's say you have Mike Williams, try to get Hollywood Brown plus. I think that's actually more helpful advice. It's like if you're rebuilding and you happen to have Mike Williams or you happen to have Mike Evans, or even if you
trade
have
all the Michaels, Michael Thomas,
Amari
Mike Evans.
Cooper.
Yeah.
You could trade Amari Cooper just like here for Hollywood Brown straight up as a rebuilder. I would do it immediately.
In a heartbeat.
So those are some things you might be able to do. So he's a target for me. I mean, Hollywood turns 26 in June, so he's not exactly old.
Yeah.
He's a year younger than Deontay Johnson.
Stud.
More than a year younger than Chris Godwin. So not.
But
not
now when he
old
comes back, he has Robbie Anderson to compete with.
Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie's probably going to take his job. Period. I mean, don't even come back.
Would you guys move DK Metcalf for a 23 first and second? The team I'm getting picks from is 0-6. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
If the team I'm getting picks from is 0-6, I would.
would Superflex versus non
Not if the
skew-
team is 0-6. If the
It's
team
all
is
Bijan.
0-6, it makes no difference. I'll
Yeah,
take the pick
that's
six.
pretty much getting
my
Bijan
chances.
and another piece.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
my chance.
The picks
I'm not gonna
value
hate
is
this.
slightly more than
Like,
DK Metcalf's
The
value.
worst case is this ends up being for an 0-6 team. What would you say the worst case is? It ends up being the 103 and the 203. Probably
Yeah.
that's the worst case. And even then, I don't hate it. It's fine.
Super flex.
So
is
there's
the quarterback.
downside and all the upside.
Exactly,
In the world. So
yeah.
If it's super flex, it's a smash, right?
Oh,
guess.
if it's super flex,
That's
it's
what
not
I was.
even-
That's what I was
it's not
saying.
even a
It's definitely
consideration.
maybe a little.
If it's
closer.
super flex,
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
take a random 23.
DK
versus
Metcalf is good,
10.
by the way, guys.
Yeah.
He's very. I think he's very
I've-
talented. He makes mistakes, but he's got the talent. So like,
I've said that
I don't wanna
before,
see it make it
where
seem
we're
so
like-
obvious,
We're
but-
like 2 years removed from him being the number 1 dynasty receiver. Like
Yeah.
less than that.
Yeah, but
So,
he's never gonna get back there.
No, he's not.
never gonna get
I
back
mean,
there.
if he
Not
improves
with-
on his
not with-
cone drill, I mean, he might.
Yeah. They need a quarterback that can make him
Yeah.
that. And Gino Smith, while he's been good, is not that. He's not even Kirk Cousins for Justin Jefferson. He's not even that or anywhere near.
Yeah. And
Or
he'll
let alone
that's not
Joe
to
Burrow.
say he's not going to have more weeks like he has where he's going to be a stud, and
Yeah.
because he's
It's
good
the
enough.
kind of thing where for a wide receiver to be like game breaking, there's a level of quarterback that they need. And Geno Smith is below that level. But you don't have to be that great. Kirk Cousins is good enough. Matthew Stafford, as we learned last year, is good enough. You don't have to be.
This year, Matthew Stafford looks like crap, and Cooper Kupp's still the number
That's
one.
what I'm
He's
saying. You
awesome.
don't
He's
have to be
amazing.
that great. But you
You got to
can't.
know how to.
You will
play
not
with
be
your
a
wide receiver
game-breaking
well.
wide receiver in fantasy with Baker Mayfield as your quarterback. You can't be bottom 10 to 15. You have to be top 15 to 20 or
Sure.
so.
Yeah, and
to
Kirk
do
Cousins
it.
and Matthew Stafford are.
You don't need a great quarterback. You just need an okay one. Kirk Cousins is plenty good enough to make Justin Jefferson. But like Jalen Hurts, you're not going to break fantasy with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, as a wide receiver. You can do it as a tight end with Lamar Jackson because tight end is different. But as a wide receiver with Mark Andrews. But as a wide receiver, you can't do it with Jalen Hurts. Passing volume's not there. Passing attempts are not there. Can't do it. You need
Talk
he's
to
one of
AJ
those
Brown about that. I don't know.
He's not doing it. He's not breaking fantasy. He's never going to
No,
break
he's not breaking
fantasy.
Yeah, sure.
Can't
Yeah.
break fantasy.
Well,
in
the
that
thing
offense.
is, they're playing so well. You kind of need some game script too, where they're playing so
Yeah.
well. I think they just aren't going to have enough
Good defense.
attempts to make it.
But I
game
agree.
script.
But that's part of it. You
Yeah.
need the attempts and a little bit of quality.
Yeah.
And they're so low on attempts that he's not going to get there.
Yeah.
But
So
remember,
if they
you
get behind, if
you
they ever get
need
behind, maybe.
players that play well too. Not every player on your team is going to break fantasy, but you cannot break fantasy in that offense. You can be good, which
Yep.
is fine. I want a 25-year-old wide receiver 1 on my dynasty team, but he's not going to be top 3 in that offense. All right. AJ Brown, Ramondre Stevenson, Irv Smith, or Jamar Chase, Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if this is Dynasty, it's the Chase and Olave side easily. So if it's redraft, then it's a lot closer. If it's redraft, I'll probably take the Brown
redraft,
side.
I'll go the other side. Yeah. I'm with you, Tyler, on both accounts. Dynasty, Chris Olave, Jamar Chase, redraft, Ramondre, AJ Brown, Irv Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really need Irv Smith, though.
No,
I mean, whatever. Yeah,
He's just there. He's just there.
He had such a
His
cool stat
dynasty's
line.
young.
Did he have such a cool stat line this week? What was it? 4 for 7 and a touchdown? Was that his stat line this week? Or was that last week?
I think he had like 4 catches and a touchdown.
I
and,
had
like,
it right
90
on the money.
yards.
4. I wasn't
No,
even
no,
looking.
yeah,
4
yeah.
for 7
No,
and a touchdown. Right on the money.
Yeah.
That's efficiency.
That sounds right.
That's like if you extrapolated Travis Kelce's last week, right? 4 catches for 25
That's
yards.
like my
No lining
efficiency.
stuff up.
It's like my efficiency. I had 1,300 views on the 1-minute video, and which is more than all of the recaps of this season. So
Dude, that's this generation, man. They
that's
just
telling
want the
me
quick hit.
that's telling me that what I should do. I do this show because people like it, but mostly it's because it's very popular in my Patreon. Again, if there were no Patreon, the show probably wouldn't exist. So just keep that in
Let's
mind.
go Patreon.
Yeah. I do stuff like this and some of the Twitter stuff as like free add-on kind of things. But yeah, again, the Patreon is really the primary source of content. And then anything else I do is for DLF. All the other stuff is really just extensions of the Patreon that I give away for free as free previews. This being probably the longest of that category. Got Judy for Hollywood straight up. I don't like that. And then Ayuk and a 24 fourth for Hollywood and 24 second. I'd draw the Hollywood side both times. Sorry.
Yeah.
What if those picks were flipped? Change it for you at all? So it's Ayuk.
I still don't want Ayuk.
Hollywood in the fourth.
Oh, that would change it for me a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought at first, and then I was like, wait, no, it's Hollywood.
But if I'm a contender, I'm gonna trade for Ayuk. That's gonna get me over the top. Brandon Ayuk.
Did you see what he did this weekend?
This week was, and then next week it's gonna be 2 for 5.
Yeah, it's gonna be aberration.
That's not gonna get me over the top. If I'm trading Hollywood to become a contender, I want someone who's gonna actually make a difference, and Brandon Ayuk is not that.
And we just covered literally all like 5-6 different names that you.
And long term, I want Hollywood over Ayuk by a lot.
Yes. I'm not a big Ayuk.
Because once Trey Lance comes back in, Brandon Ayuk is going to be completely unusable. We saw what that was going to look like. I saw enough of what that was going to look like, and I didn't like it. It's going to be run. It's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah. Except
worse. So I don't want any part of that. Who's a wide receiver I could target while trying to trade Mixon? I don't know if this is redraft or Dynasty.
Feels like a redraft question.
Yeah, it feels
probably. Like in Dynasty, I've been selling Joe Mixon the whole time. I've never really wanted Joe Mixon. But if it's redraft,
you could get a top tier wide receiver.
You can get a top wide receiver. Yeah, I would need someone very good.
Yeah.
Thank God Mixon just got a touchdown this last week. It was
before this week. I would have said
Jamar
Chase, but I don't think you can do that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he hurt himself that much after this week. He hasn't been very good.
Well, I mean, efficiency-wise, he hasn't been great, but he's still getting the volume and he's making it work.
Well, I just don't think you can get Jamar Chase for Mixon after this week.
Oh, because Jamar Chase side. I wasn't even
Jamar Chase went off.
Yeah. If you could, that was that. Yeah, I would have definitely done that trade.
So I actually made a trade. I traded away Mixon in Dynasty this past week for Najee Harris and a 23 second. So
I'd rather have Najee Harris over Mixon still.
Yeah, so probably a 2.01. So I felt like I had to do it. I'm a contender in that league. And I know Najee's been kind of putrid in terms of his production, but
putrid's an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, he fell into the end zone on that catch yesterday.
Lucky.
So,
yeah, people yelled at me. Why didn't you want to start Najee Harris?
He got so lucky on that one. Yeah.
Hey, there's a lot of luck in football, though, man. I mean,
that's true. He was wide open.
He's been awful.
Yeah. But I mean, I had to take that deal because pretty much it could be the 2.01 plus Najee for giving Mixon. I think value-wise, I had to smash it. So
in Dynasty? Easy.
Yeah, he has 1 touchdown on 83 carries, but 2 on 18 targets.
See, people don't realize how good Big Ben was. That's what it is.
He was really good at throwing it short and quickly. So
people complained that he was inefficient on the ground, yet he's averaging 0.7 yards a carry less this year.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope they're happy. I mean, I was pretty in on Najee Harris, and I got it wrong, I suppose. But he looks
wrong.
Bad.
Yeah.
He looks
really
bad.
So what wide receiver could you realistically get from Mixon? I don't think you're getting any of the top 5 wide receivers for him.
Can you get
CeeDee Lamb or Mike Evans? I think. I don't think you're getting anyone better.
Maybe CeeDee Lamb. Now's a good time to try to buy CeeDee Lamb, I think.
Yeah, before Dak's return.
Yeah, before Dak is coming back this week. By the way, Dak will play week 7.
Yeah.
Unless he suffers a setback, but as of now, he's going to start week 7.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through some of the receivers too. I mean, you know what I always say, when I give advice about trades is, you don't necessarily target particular players. I always say you got to target the teams, right? So you look at the teams that are really struggling at running back. Here you have Mixon, and then you see what would make sense from their team, their wide receivers that they currently have, and then make a value trade for needs on that, right? Because you can't just be like for value, what do I do, right?
Yeah, we
You
need
have to
to
find the need first in order
Yeah,
to sell.
there's
so.
breaking news. We
Oh,
need to change the subject.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, no, it isn't. Well,
Oh,
Carson
what is
Wentz will miss. Oh, there it is. Carson Wentz will miss the next 4 to 6 weeks
Yikes.
as he recovers from his fractured finger.
Yeah.
I don't forget which finger it is, but fractured finger. So let's jump to that, I guess, for now. Let's talk about that. Well, that's going to be a problem for Terry McLaurin, who has not produced at all.
A problem for him. He's already had a
another
problem,
one.
right?
Yeah, but how was he with Taylor Heinecke last year? Was it good?
Are we 100% sure it's Tyler Heinecke? Not
Yes.
Sam Howell?
Dude, come on. Howell is not game ready, man.
I'm 100%
You say
sure
that,
Taylor Heinecke.
we've seen plenty of fourth round. Zappy, we've been like Zappy, like
That's true.
Ryan
that's
Hoyer,
true.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we're gonna get like a week or two of Heinecke, and then everyone will start clamoring for Howell, I'm sure. But it will definitely be Heinecke to begin, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing for McLaurin, like in terms of compared to what he's been doing so far.
Lauren was good last year. He had Heinecke
But-
all last year.
Yeah,
McLaurin was
I
good
mean,
last year.
It
There's more
feels like
options, I guess.
it feels like a trap a little bit though. Also, like kind of like the PJ Walker loves DJ Moore. It's like nah. It's like
You know what? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
go
did
and
target
say
him twice.
thumbs up for McLaurin. It's not a thumbs down. I'm not saying McLaurin's gonna be worse. The last 3 weeks he's been horrible, and he's played like all the snaps. He runs all the routes. I think it's a good thing for him. Not great. It's
Like,
it's slightly,
when
it's
I
like
watch Terry
neutral.
McLaurin play, like he's a great receiver, but now there's some people spinning the narrative of like, oh, he was, he's an outlier, according to a lot of different analysis and things like that, like his draft capital and all that stuff.
Hey,
And,
I was one of the original Terry McLaurin truthers.
yeah,
if
I
you
was-
I
see
think
if
he's
you
a great
watch
receiver.
his actual film and tape,
Yeah.
it's literally like this guy is wide open. They just can't get him the ball, and then they finally throw the ball, and then the defenders has now 3 extra seconds to come back and
Yeah.
actually like negate that separation he created so easily.
he's so good.
And
I
so
don't
it's
think that
it's awful.
Carson Wentz ever goes back in, by the way, because they owe the Colts an incentive.
especially the Ron Rivera. What Ron Rivera said, like
Quarterback.
He pulled
Quarterback.
back on it. He pulled back on it, but
Wow.
yeah,
That was
he
a
doesn't love
little-
Carson
Here's-
Wentz.
Next for the Commanders. Next is at the game against the Packers.
Nice.
The angry Packers. Then a
back-to-back New
road.
York losses.
Then they're going to go on the road to play the Colts. So Wentz is going to miss that one.
Sad.
Then a
Dang.
game against the
Revenge.
Vikings, the 5-1 Vikings. And then after that comes at the Eagles. So
Probably good that he's out.
Maybe not so good.
Oh man, he gets to miss. There's just so many headlines that people
I
wanna
know
talk
he gets
about
to
with those
miss
games,
the
yeah.
Colts and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Back to
That would've-
back.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun.
He didn't plan
I was
that
supposed
one
to get
out.
tickets.
I
for that
don't
game.
think. I really
I'm salty
don't
now.
think that. First of all, I think if the Commanders are 2-7, that Ron Rivera is going to get the axe. I think it's time.
Sure.
I think Ron
the
Rivera-
Commanders. I don't trust the Commanders.
Ron
making the good
Rivera
decisions,
No.
Is another one of those coaches that reminds me of a coach who would have been good 15 years ago. A coach who's great for the NFL of 2006. Like, he's from a different time. Coaches like
Bet you
that.
he was in the NFL during 2006. I'm not sure about that, but I bet you
No,
was
I
coaching
don't
somewhere.
think he was.
and
I'm not
doing
sure
a good
Ron
job.
Rivera was a great coach ever. But
Uh,
like, I think he's the kind of coach that's like teams that are looking for a little bit of a throwback to an old era would hire. You know, I mean, he's kind of a hard ass, but also kind of like a gunslinger in a way, kind of like a weird combo in one
he's
person.
not an
but I
X's and O's guys, and he's not a players coach. I'm with you.
he's a
Get him out
weird
there.
coach
Get him
for
out. Yeah,
today's
like-
NFL.
It's like, what are you doing? What are you even doing here?
Not
Like,
that 60. He's 60. It's not that 60 is ancient for a coach, but it does feel like he's coaching from a different era.
Pete Carroll's almost 70, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you
And
like
Pete
Brian
Carroll is another
Robinson
one
more
that
than- if he likes
I was
B-Rob.
totally finished with Pete Carroll, but I have to give Pete Carroll
He's a players
credit
coach, though.
I have
His,
to give
his
Pete Carroll
players
credit
love him and play
for
for him.
how
That's
he's
not the same with
coached
Ron Rivera. You know?
this year. Well, not clearly not Ron Rivera, because Ron Rivera threw his quarterback under
know!
a Mack truck.
Okay, well, hey, the full context of that, though, was what he was actually saying was he wants consistency at the QB position that they've been changing year to year.
But whose fault is that?
The system. I mean, it's the organization.
Well, I mean, that's everybody's fault, though. Like,
yeah.
he recommended, in his own words, he said that he recommended that they acquire Carson Wentz. So now it should be his fault that Carson Wentz is not playing well. And, I said that Frank Reich should have been fired last time because he didn't take any responsibility for Carson Wentz's failure. And now here we are again. I mean, Carson Wentz
gets too much hate, though, man. I don't know.
Carson Wentz is awful. I mean, Carson Wentz is awful.
He's not.
Have you seen the video? Have you seen the video of his 2020 lowlights? How bad it was.
Yeah, well, that's because they're lowlights.
Yes, but the video was like 20 minutes long. So there were so many of them. And this year has been another disaster. I mean, he put up some like decent volume numbers, but he was absolutely. I mean, sometimes you have no idea where he's throwing the ball, and he
knows.
He just cannot take care of the football. Like, he is responsible for so many. Somehow this year he's been sacked 23 times.
Yeah, but that's not all on him. I mean,
yes, but he's run into some of these sacks, and if it's not all on him. He also had 50 sacks in 12 games in 2020. So that was also not his fault. So it's like, and this is the worst of all. We're averaging almost 4 sacks a game, and he's had 6 interceptions. He can't take care of the ball. And it's like, this is his worst QBR year so far of his career. Yeah. He's only had 1 year where he's completed more than 65% of his passes. 1 year. He doesn't take care of the football. He doesn't throw the football accurately, and he doesn't even put up the best volume numbers of it, and he's not super mobile. Why? Carson Wentz is never going back in. Never as a intended starter for another NFL team again. He's not going back. He's done.
Maybe.
He's done.
Just because it's the Commanders.
I think he'll be back.
No, I think that we see a couple of, personally, I think we see a couple of weeks of Taylor Heinecke. It's horrific, and then Sam Howell goes in. That's what I'm predicting.
And they'll probably all look bad, it's probably
right. But might as well try if you're not going to have any of these quarterbacks as your starter. Might as well try the one,
especially when you consider the NFC East. They're killing it right now. Like but
it's not even that.
Aren't winning anything.
It's not even that,
season,
Josh. If you hit, how this works. If you hit in the NFL on a cheap rookie starter, somehow that gives you the cheat code to succeed as a franchise for years that other teams don't have. So that's why it's worth it to try Sam Howell in a lost season, because if you hit on him somehow.
I say try him now. That's what I was saying originally.
But he's not ready now. He's not ready. He hasn't even been dressing as the backup. He's not ready. I think that
most teams only dress, not most, the majority.
Right, but if he's not dressing as the backup, that means he's not practicing as the backup. And that means he hasn't had any reps in practice. How is he going to be ready to play?
I do think the team likes Taylor Heinecke too, so I agree with you.
I think they should do what I said, is give Taylor Heinecke a couple of games, and then if it's horrible again, then in a couple of weeks, maybe put Sam Howell in there against the Vikings.
Real quick, not that I'm like a Carson Wentz apologist or anything like that, but if you look at his body of work, I mean, with all the lowlights and everything combined, even this year, right now, he sits at QB 10.
No, but it's not all about fantasy.
But we are talking about fantasy here, though, right? I mean,
right. But if he doesn't start and he loses his job, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he doesn't start games.
But I'm just saying, he's been QB 12, QB 14, and then this year up to this point, QB 10. Even with that game he didn't throw any interceptions.
See, that's the thing. It's like you can start him in fantasy, but he's going to lose his job because he's horrible. Yeah. There have been other guys like this.
I think he comes back. I think he's going to be back for the Commanders, but when he's ready to come back. Yeah, 4 to 16. What are we in week? We're in week 6 right now, so we'll probably see him like weeks 13 to 17. Is my guess. I mean, I think so.
Maybe
it's very.
You know what
very,
the other
very,
thing
very
is though?
If Howell
he has the other reason I think he's not going back in is he has injury guarantees on his 2023 money.
You
And if he
mentioned
gets
that
hurt,
going in.
then they have to pay him that
Oh,
money.
That's a
So
good
I don't
point.
think he's going to go in. And they are outside of those injury guarantees, he's owed 0 dead cap for the next 2 years. So he's not going back in. They're not going to risk it. Why risk it at
Probably a good
2-7 in
point.
a lost season? That makes no sense. He's owed 26 and 27 million that they can get out of for no penalty if he doesn't get hurt. He's not going back. Makes no sense. If they didn't have that, then I could see it that way, but that's not the case. So it's too risky. They're gonna
Commanders
not
like
they're
giving
not
away
back.
money though, Tyler. You got to understand that.
No,
part
they
of it.
don't.
Well, I mean, Dan
They only
Snyder
been
has
stealing
no-
money. They don't like
Dan
giving
Snyder
away
has
any of it.
They like giving money away.
Dan Snyder has
Dumbly,
no other
the money
way to
they
make
do,
people
you
like
know?
him
So-
other than that. So I can't
Yeah, I don't
be
know.
too surprised.
Hey, did you hear when what's his name, Al
They
Michaels,
paid
like, put
some
him on
people.
blast? He was
Yeah.
like, I think most of the NFL would like for him to sell the team. Like he's on like the prime. Like,
Yeah,
Broncos.
they have a
yeah.
horse in the fight at all. But so, like, I don't want Dan Snyder in the NFL anymore. I really don't.
Nobody does. I mean,
I know,
everyone
and I don't
hates
even
him.
care. Yeah,
But that's the
I-
thing, though. He's probably
hate
more
him?
like a fall guy, though, because I'm sure the owners really do have a lot of dirt and stuff that they do. Like
Well,
Not-
we
Dan
not
know
Snyder
that.
should. It's kind of smart for him to say it. Not smart. I would never. I think he's an asshole. But like, he's like, oh, I've got dirt on everyone because
Yeah.
everyone has
Well,
some
I
dirt. All
mean,
these billionaires have some
This
dirt.
is why
and they're like, oh,
it's
does he
great.
know about this?
This is why it's great that the NFL doesn't control me, because I can talk about the fucking marina for as long as I want, and Stephen Ross cannot shut me down. Stephen Ross does not control this show, so I will talk about the fucking marina for as long as I want. And then, after I've been talking about it for months, then the news story came out about the marina, and people were allowed to discuss it. But we had been talking about the marina on this show, and everyone dismissed it as a conspiracy theory, and then all of a sudden penalties are imposed. But
What's up?
Good.
How we doing, guys?
What's up, man?
oh, we're doing
You know what?
great.
Never mind.
Good.
All
Yeah.
right. We're behind on the chat, but that's okay. Oh,
Keep going.
the Tinder dating site was blocked.
I
That's
know,
right.
I got it.
I
I
was
got
kind
it.
of
No
upset
Tinder
about it.
dating sites
What the
on my
hell?
watch.
No, I liked it.
What happened?
That's the best adult dating site out there, man. Like, come on.
Sponsor him. Sponsor him.
Sponsor me.
Tinder dash XYZ. Let's go, people.
Oh, we haven't even talked
my
about this.
God.
Contending
What did I
acres
walk
two,
into?
2 times seconds or Chimera. Well, we didn't even talk about acres yet.
Oh wow, yeah, that's important, kind of. Huh?
Yeah. Wow,
Uh,
that's
What even happened? I mean, it's got to be. You think it's like a Ume Udoka kind of thing? Like where in-house something happened personally.
No, I
relationship
actually don't
guys?
think so.
I don't
I-
think it's a sexual
I don't think it's
harassment
Just
or
using their
anything
eyes.
like that. No.
But I also don't think it's personal. I think it's football related.
yeah.
Like, I
I
think
like.
Cam Akers was
It
about to
seems
be
like it's
benched.
football related. It seems like he's done with the team.
Cam Akers was about to be benched, and he didn't take kindly to that. And now the Rams are going to try to find him another team instead of dealing with this.
That's what the article sounded like when they said, I think they phrased it as like
Philosophy.
philosophical
Yeah.
differences in like football. And it's like, okay,
Whatever that means.
He's
It's
not
crazy
getting
though,
the
like-
time he wants and he wants
Yeah.
out. Like
just
that's
a
all
year
it is.
ago, I remember seeing a commercial where it was like Eric Dickerson or like someone big in the Rams, organization, like handing him the ball. Like they were ready to crown him like the next glorious, Rams running back. And then, look where we're at now. It's pretty wild. It's sad though, because he battles all the way back from Achilles, comes early, and he is on the field, and now he's like,
Maybe
I'm
he
out.
shouldn't have.
Probably not. But do you think he's
Yeah.
going to get traded?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What
Yeah,
is someone
he
gonna
definitely
give
will.
for him when it comes down
Nothing.
to it? Like
Nothing.
I don't
a
think
7th
like-
round pick?
Robbie
think they're gonna-
Anderson
Yeah.
type of compensation.
That would have
probably.
made sense.
Yeah, like a
Robbie
fifth and a
Anderson.
sixth or something.
I
Yeah,
doubt it's
I
that,
do
that much
think-
even.
I do think it's the kind of thing from the Rams' perspective that you can just find another backup running back if that's what they
They're-
see him as.
I think
and
they're
if they can get
willing.
any compensation for him at all, I think they'll just get rid of him.
I think
And
they're
do
willing
think
to
he's
just.
go-
there could
gonna
be a
get
team
cut.
willing to give a sixth.
He's going to get cut if he doesn't get
I mean,
traded.
he's on his rookie contract still, so it's not going to cost them much to
Which
cut him.
teams in the NFL really need a running back?
Which teams does he go to and he becomes more valuable? Like he does he
Nowhere.
become valuable?
No.
He's done.
The
Forget
Titans.
Cam
Nowhere.
Akers.
No,
We
yeah,
draft, get rid of him.
Pretty
Right?
much, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would hold
You-
him just in
Just to
case.
see. But where's he go? And you're like, yes, I got a guy.
You know, nowhere unless there's an injury that hasn't happened yet,
Hear me out.
which
Hear me
could
out.
always happen.
Yeah.
CMC gets traded, and then Akers gets traded.
Yeah.
Part of the same
I
deal.
guess that's it.
how he
That's it.
gets more
He wouldn't be
value.
There it
particularly
is.
valuable there, though.
But more
You'd have-
valuable than he is now. You would want to roster him.
Hypothetically,
Well,
You would
nothing
roster
would. I mean, he's not playing now.
Like he
Uh,
doesn't
it's
change
not
who
contract,
he
right?
is
Yeah.
by
I would
going
think
somewhere else. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
at this point. I mean, whether it's the injury or what, like he's just not super effective on the ground. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
the Rams' offensive line has not been helping him really at all. The Rams' offensive line has struggled with a lot of injuries, been very off this year compared to last year. So I mean, Akers doesn't look great anyway, but it's not 100% his
There
fault.
really
Yeah.
isn't a spot for him, though. I mean, who's going to
No,
trade for him?
there isn't really a spot for any running backs right now. Like, oh, that's the spot. Like,
Yeah.
there's no. There
There is
Right.
one.
You need to
There is
get
one
injured.
team that
They get
needs a
injured a
running
lot,
back.
running back. So if someone,
like honestly, like if the Browns lost both Chubb and Hunt, I could see him going there and producing.
Yeah, but like.
and Dearness Johnson,
Yeah.
then he could maybe
If-
play.
I agree. If the Packers lost Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
was there,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
would
that'd
he
be
would be
great.
really
Yeah.
The one
100%.
team I actually saw floated that I find hard to believe, but actually does make some sense, actually the Giants. They don't really need him, but you know,
That would be a
just
dumb
like
move.
Reedus looked okay.
I mean,
Rita's looked bad, and
From-
like
from like
I
an
think it's bad move.
organization and how they're actually
they're probably
playing,
overusing Saquon.
It would probably be smart. Yeah, I agree with you. Where it's like, if something were to go down to the guy that's basically the engine of your offense, like, are you really going to be able to continue, not Saquon production, but like even 60% of that with Matt Brady behind? Or like, would you rather take the shot and bring Cam Akers behind him? Like,
Yeah, the Giants are 5-1. That's the
What
only
about-
reason I thought
What about the
it.
Dolphins? Dolphins, maybe?
The Dolphins are another team that could use him.
He doesn't fit, right? Because he's such a plotter.
He really doesn't fit in their offense at all.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have
Yeah.
someone like him.
Well-
Never mind.
They ran through all those guys in the years past.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the
Is it
Chargers.
Jay
The Chargers.
Part
The
for-
Chargers
Chargers
could run this
interesting.
again. No, I actually thought about this. The Chargers could send Sony
Yeah.
Michel back to the Rams, where it went better, and send Cam Akers over there. They could just swap those two.
That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I guess the Rams would rather have Sony than Cam Akers at this
Well,
point.
at this point, they would. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Broncos, if they're desperate, are another one because Mike
Yeah.
Boone is nothing.
Broncos
Melvin
are-
Gordon
yeah.
is looking
Can't
kinda
hold on to the
washed.
football.
The Broncos
So-
are a decent one, yeah.
Actually, the
Broncos
Broncos might be my favorite spot for Cam Akers to land if he were to land.
I
anywhere.
actually think
Because
the Chargers are more likely.
if Melvin Gordon can't hang on to the football, if he keeps fumbling, they just want to go to someone welse, and it could be Cam Akers if he went there. That's all I'll say.
But yeah, there aren't that many. I mean, the Ravens, I guess.
Yeah. A
But,
big timeshare.
they-
About them.
Yeah, it's
But
he
Gus
could make-
Edwards is coming back.
But what
Kenny
the
Drake
thing
just
is,
looked
what is
good.
Akers looking for? Like, is he looking to be the guy somewhere? Because there is no place. where
There's
he's gonna
no
be the
place
guy.
where he can do that. The
You know
only
where he'd be
place
the
he
guy?
could do that potentially
Washington.
is Atlanta.
Washington.
Because
still
everyone
think
Atlanta
Gibson-
has is horrible.
Atlanta's not. How come we haven't even said Atlanta?
True.
Atlanta makes the most sense, maybe, but they're not.
Atlanta.
Because that
What is-
Patterson
why
seems
would-
to be delayed.
I don't know if they would want him.
Yeah, Cordero Patterson has looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't-
he's
yeah.
He's
who
on
knows when
IR.
he's coming back.
Yeah, I mean
Maybe-
he'll be back.
yeah,
in
There
he'll
is
be back.
one team that could definitely use Akers because their backfield didn't produce anything this week.
Ooh.
Chiefs. Their backfield didn't do anything. I mean,
Maybe
Akers
it's
is a better
Pacheco,
version
actually,
of what they
im-
wanted Ronald Jones to be.
from Ronald.
Pacheco
Oh,
is
why you gotta
impressive.
bring up Ronald
When I see
Jones?
Pacheco run, he looks good. He's really fast. He runs people over.
Yeah, he was
Pacheco
so
looks good.
good. He was
I
so
don't know.
good this week.
Yo,
I
Pacheco
know,
looks
I'm not
like he's
talking-
really
I'm just-
good because he
talking
looks
from
like
a
he
limited
runs like very hard. But I almost
Yeah.
feel like that's worse. Like the really good running backs you see, like it looks effortless when they run. He just looks like, I gotta.
Yeah, if you watch like Bijan Robinson's long run, it didn't even look like he was trying.
Yeah, he just
It didn't even look like he was trying. It looked like he just glided past.
I'm not saying Isaiah Pacheco is Bijan Robinson. No one's Bijan Robinson. Come on, obviously. Come on.
Yeah.
That's not
Josh
fair comparison.
Huster said Isaiah Pacheco comp player.
You know
comp.
that's
Make it a
telling
quote.
though. But you know what's telling about that whole conversation? It's telling that when I had to come up with an example of a great running back, I went to the one that's not even in the NFL.
Yeah, we were
That's
talking
telling about just how valued Bijan Robinson is going to be when he comes into the NFL.
Yeah, me and my dad had a really interesting conversation yesterday. There was a report saying the Panthers wanted multiple firsts. I don't know if you guys have talked about it already.
We
Panthers wanted
haven't.
multiple firsts for McCaffrey. And we were like, me and my dad were talking. We were like, I don't think you can get a first for him because right now, as an NFL GM, I'd rather have Bijan Robinson on my team. And I'd rather have the 23 firsts, given that I'm going to get Bijan Robinson.
I think Bijan Robinson's going to go in the top half of the first round.
I would rather have Bijan Robinson than Christian McCaffrey on my NFL team right now.
Sure, but I think that if you're the Bills, Bijan Robinson is not going to be available when your first round pick is.
Yeah, you'd want
They want to
if
win
you're
a
the Bills, you'd
championship
want Christian McCaffrey.
now.
Yes, you'd want Christian McCaffrey. Now, I'm just saying, like,
I
blank
love your
slate.
point. That's a great point. It really is.
Like they're not gonna
Let's
go-
answer this question. If you're a contender, would you rather have Akers in 2 seconds or Kamara?
I'd rather have Camaro.
As a contender.
Kamara's been good. The last couple of weeks, he's been really good.
As a
He's looked good.
contender, why would you not keep Kamara before he gets?
Yeah,
his
it's
second
crazy.
next year? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds next year and Akers, who is a guy that we have no idea what he's going to do this year. So I think Kamara is the easy pick. there.
Win right now with Kamara. That's what I would say.
Yep. If you're as long
Like
as
the
you're
value,
contending,
the value-ish is there. I think if you're just looking purely at value, but
a little
a
bit.
contender.
I would bet with the value on Kamara's side too.
I mean, without the touchdowns right now, Kamara's producing at a very high level. So I'd want him to keep putting that out for my squad.
And Kamara could still be useful. I think as a 30-year-old, he could have a pass catching role for a team. You know, I just think he has that kind of talent. So
It's
he's
really
still
more the
age
suspension
gracious.
that has Kamara lower in my rankings because I do think more and more things are coming out. I do think that there will be a suspension. And
this year, though, it might be the
No,
beginning of
next
right?
year, but for Dynasty, it's a Dynasty question.
It matters. It matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'll
if you're
take-
contender,
I'll take
right?
Kamara here. Yeah.
Yeah, use him while you can.
Yes, I hated Cortland Sutton.
Yep.
I still.
Oh,
Those are
I
the
was always Sutton over
Portland
Judy.
Sutton hater.
But he's been Cortland Sutton still has been not what some people said he was.
He's been very good, though. He's been consistent.
Great.
What is
He's
he right now?
been
He's
great.
top 12.
Yeah, probably. He has to
I
be.
mean,
He's the top 12
top
receiver.
12.
Right now.
I think he's nearing
Yeah,
top
he's played
12
one
right
less
now.
game than everyone. Well, not everyone, but
Well,
Yeah,
let's see what happens today. Maybe
I'm
it'll
looking
be-
right now.
No,
Let's see
he's
where
he's
he's
played
at.
one less game. I think you'd have to look at a per average or per game
points per
average.
game.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
probably
looking at.
12
Let me see. I'm
points per
trying to
game.
find him.
Well, if there's some guys that probably only played one or two.
Man,
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
Judy's
find it
been
right
so
now. I'll get back to you guys.
bad.
So bad. It's crazy. Yeah.
It looks like he's number 16 right now.
Yeah, 16 right
Okay.
now.
And I bet there's like two guys
That's not
that played
far
like one or
off
two
from where
games.
I had Cortland Sutton ranked going into the season. I had Cortland Sutton at 19 or 20.
So once Rusk starts actually,
Yeah, I'm at like
clicking,
15.
Hopefully,
Right, so
and
never.
Hopefully tonight we're gonna see him.
Oh, tonight
cook a
is going to be not
gourmet
good.
meal.
With the shoulder injury, I think this is going to be a disaster.
I mean, but if there's a team to do
Yeah.
it against, I mean, it's this team. This is LA
Chargers
team.
Yeah, Chargers defense hasn't been awesome.
Yeah,
Well, for
Honestly.
start said, I ranked,
Especially for run. Their run defense has been.
I ranked Russell Wilson at
Brutal.
quarterback 18 this week.
Yeah.
So I wasn't.
I was
in.
going to say
Yeah,
the
that's
Chargers
bad.
defense has been
It was
more
a bad
susceptible
quarterback
for the
week.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
So
true.
it might be Melvin
Right
Gordon
now-
revenge game season.
All right. Top 223 pick and Trevor Lawrence for Josh Allen.
Wow.
Top two.
Brutal.
Ah!
It hurts.
Oh
Sorry.
my goodness.
I love
Tom?
Allen, so I'm sticking with Lawrence in the two picks.
I'll
there,
take
definitely.
Lawrence in the pick.
Yeah.
They're
That is
definitely worth more as a whole.
It's worth
Yeah.
more. Yeah, it's brutal.
It's, wait, it's only
though.
one 2023 first, right?
No, it says
I
top. Wait,
top-
is it two top ones?
I'm hearing two.
No, it's
top
not two
20.
picks.
No, no, no,
top
it's a-
one.
I think it's
top
a
two
top
pick.
2 pick.
It's a
Oh,
guarantee.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes it a lot more even. I was like, you can't
Yeah.
even like consider Josh. Like this is
Yeah,
way
it's
overpaid for
still
Josh
Lawrence
Allen,
side for me though.
This
Wow.
is
Wow,
close.
I-
I don't know if I
And
could.
a 3.
I
super
would
flex.
take Allen.
Oh, 10
I think I
team
would take
3 super
Three
flex.
super flex.
Oh, it's 3 super flex.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
snap.
Josh Allen in a 10-team league is a lot more valuable, and Trevor Lawrence is a little bit less valuable. A little bit,
But
but
3
he's still
super
valuable.
flex.
I think
Yeah,
But
that's
that
why
makes
he's
it a
under
lot
CJ
worth a lot
Stroud.
more.
I think
I'm taking Josh Allen.
I think the fact that it's 3 super flex leans
It's
like
so
towards
close,
getting
though.
more
It's
players.
so close.
But
Yeah, it
I think
leans
I'm
more
winning
to
Josh
quantity,
Allen
right?
Yeah, I want Josh
in a
Allen.
10-team league. In a 10-team league, I'm taking Josh Allen. I think.
Yep. I'm gonna take him.
Yeah. Oh, man,
It's
this
close,
is a
though.
tough one. Probably lean Allen. Like, he just keeps producing, man. He's so good.
Okay. Keenan hasn't played at all yet. I know.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel stock down. I
I'd
do
say
think
so.
so because I'm not sure Curtis Samuel is that good. So but we know that this is a little similar to some of the things we were talking about with the Jets. We know that Carson Wentz
Mhm.
liked Curtis Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea if Taylor Heinecke is going to feel the same way. We don't know. And I don't think
we
Curtis
don't know.
Samuel is actually that good. So if he's not actually that great and the targets go another way, the risk is high.
Yeah, I think
So-
Terry McLaurin could be on the rise here. McLaurin has not. I
We
mean,
talked
know-
about that a little bit.
And how did Terry McLaurin look last year with Taylor Heinecke?
He was a top 24 wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver
He
too.
was a
And
top
that
24 wide
is
receiver.
disappointing.
Right now, so far, he's the wide receiver 32 in the season. It can't get much worse for Terry McLaurin right now. I feel like he's going to get better. I think he's going to have to get better.
I think he gets more
Behind.
targets, more
Yeah,
consistent.
more targets at least. Yeah,
That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. So
I
Yeah.
still think
Terry
his upside
McLaurin-
is
He gets Terry
higher with
Alexander next
Wentz.
week. He gets
Yeah,
the Packers next week.
Terry McLaurin has almost identical yards per game this year to last year.
yeah, but he's not
61.9.
getting. He's not. I bet you the targets and the receptions are way down. I'm not sure. I'm
targets-
just guessing.
The
He has
targets and
four-
receptions
Yeah,
are
he has
down.
4 games with 6 targets or less.
Targets and receptions are down.
Man, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
pretty
That
much.
one week,
Hard.
last week, with Diami Brown getting the 2 long touchdowns.
Oh, that was such a
That
killer.
was so sad, man. I was like, I was sure that Terry was gonna break out that game with one of his big games.
Oh man,
I thought so, too.
I was all in on Terry that week. Terry
Me
was
too.
big.
and then
love for
Diami
that
Brown
week.
out of nowhere.
He killed
Also,
him,
Jahan
yeah.
Dotson is coming back,
Yeah, that's
John
true.
Dotson's now coming back. That makes him more
which is
interesting.
gonna. I mean, can you start? I mean, you probably have to, but
Terry McLaurin, or
can
who
you
you
start any?
starting?
I mean, you probably have to start.
Any
Well,
Commanders? I mean, you're probably starting
Sorry.
McLaurin.
You're gonna start Brian Robinson against the Packers. The Packers get eviscerated.
Packers
by
run
the
D
run
has
game.
been bad.
Is trash. Yeah,
Packers
you're
run D
gonna have
is
to start
really
Brian
trash.
Robinson in that
I
one.
think. Yeah, Robinson's the lead back of this backfield. It's very clear. So I think that he is.
I know
think more
that-
to
I was
start,
as
but
much
it's
as
scary. He's a
you know,
scary RB2/flex for me.
Terrifying.
I've been
yes.
waiting for this day. You know, I've been waiting for this day.
Oh yeah,
for
we've
like
been waiting for this.
Oh
day.
no, for a year and a half, I've been waiting for this day when the Antonio Gibson truthers finally surrender. I think they finally surrendered. I think they saw how bad it was in Thursday's game. Where Antonio Gibson-
You might be right. You might be wrong, Tyler. Antonio Gibson was a lot more efficient in this game.
Yeah. Well, he had like
more
7
involved in
yards.
the
It
passing
doesn't
game.
matter.
I'm not
He
saying
did like
you're wrong.
nearly half the snaps.
I'm with you, man. Like I'm not saying, but I bet you.
He had
that
just
let's
over half the
review.
snaps
Let's
Brian
review
Robinson did.
the
It wasn't
reality of
even
what
close.
happened here. The other running back was shot the week before the season in his first game back from a shooting. Tripled Antonio
Yeah.
Gibson's carries, and then the second one had 17 carries.
Yeah,
It's
they're
over.
showing their direction
over.
for sure. I
You're
mean,
using
Brian
logic,
Robinson-
though. You're using way too much logic, Tyler. Way too much.
Exactly, that's what
I
I
still
do
think
here.
Gibson is a better back. I mean, I got trashed on Twitter for saying Antonio Gibson's the best running back on the Commanders right now. But I still stand by it.
Stand by it, Josh. Stand by it.
Like
Yes,
Brian
plant
Robinson.
that flag.
Brian Robinson
Yes.
is going to be another. Just,
Yes.
I
Told
really
you,
think
Tyler.
he's a talented back. I really do.
I was-
I'm with you, Josh. Right? He's a talented running back.
Yeah.
I was going to
wasn't
say
in on Gibson
The
when he
fancy
came
to
out,
know.
and then he almost like proved it to me. But now they're like, I don't understand why they're just kind of taking it from him. You know.
Because
I was
he's
going to say that
unreliable.
the Gibson truthers, actually, I didn't feel like they surrendered after that game. I felt like they came out like hot after that game.
They come up
like,
hating Robinson.
being
It
like,
felt like they
why is
surrendered to
Brian
me.
getting all these carries? Like, Antonio looks so much better. Like,
Well,
I
because
thought
if
it
you
was
have enough carries at 3 yards per carry, you finally get as much as Antonio Gibson and less carries.
yeah.
And
I mean,
Volunteer
Antonio
wasn't.
Gibson is averaging 3.5 yards
I
a carry
know,
this
I
year,
know.
so he's been
I
so
think-
great.
Rivera
been
did
so
say
great that-
immediately after the game that he was like, my bad, I probably should have played Gibson more, which, like, obviously we'll take with a grain of salt.
sucks.
But, like, to say that immediately after the game is a little bit like, oh,
Probably
crap.
doesn't
Like,
matter, but-
wait, maybe he actually kind of saw what everyone else is saying. Like, oh, like, Brian Robinson, like, obviously got all the work. We loved, like, the usage, but it didn't look great for the most part. Like, we want, like, I feel like we want him to be like more than he is. And like, we're expecting him to be kind of like a solid RB2 and take over this role. But I'm just not that confident that, one, like we've been saying, he's actually that much better or better at all than Gibson. And then again, it's just that team, that offense. Now, who knows what's going to happen. And so I'm scared of that entire team.
Yep. Yeah, I
No
don't. I'm
thanks.
scared. If
So-
you have any of those players in your team, be scared.
McLaurin produced better with Heinecke, yes, but let's remind ourselves why I think the real reason of that is that
There's no other
last
wide
year,
receivers on the Commanders.
here were the next 5 leading target getters after Terry McLaurin in 2021. Adam Humphries was number 2. Stunning, right? J.D. McKissick was 3rd.
Logan
Antonio
Thomas played,
Gibson
like,
was
4
4th.
games, and I bet like was up there.
Antonio Gibson was 4th. Ricky Seals-Jones was 5th. And DeAndre Carter came in 6th. Those were the next 5 leading target getters after Terry McLaurin in 2021. Maybe that may have had something to do
Impossible.
with his increased volume last year versus
Impossible.
this one. Just maybe.
Impossible.
No.
Maybe.
Terry McLaurin.
And I'm not worried about the spike weeks. I'm more worried about the volume. We talked about this a lot. Riverboat Ron is the most overrated coach. I think it's very clear that my opinion of him is not very high. So
Yeah,
not overrated in my book. I don't think he's any good. I
What
don't think he's a
happened to
good
the
coach.
boat?
He's rated.
Go Birds, baby.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
before Hux
man.
was here, but yes.
I
6-0
got
in the
so many.
bye.
I got so many eye rolls at school today for wearing the Smith jersey. There's so many Cowboys fans in my school.
Good
It was
on
amazing.
you.
It was amazing.
So
But yeah, 6-0.
if I'd told you before the season started that the 2 New York teams would be a combined 9-3, and the
9-3. That
and
is-
the
that is
Bengals and Rams
absolutely
would be a
ridiculous.
combined 6-6.
I'd be like, shut up.
Oh,
Danny.
that'd be the funniest, dude. I'm honestly really like impressed by the Giants that they've been able to. I mean, everyone is obviously, but Brian Dable, I'm really impressed with Brian Dable and how he's been able
Coach
to do
of the
this.
year so far, I think.
I think that's definitely there because the thing is, like, the coaches in the previous year, I feel like Brian Dable has he has a great camaraderie with the team, but additionally, you see him using his players to his strengths. Daniel Jones has been a game manager most of the season. That's what he needs to be. He's not someone that's going to go out and win you a football game. That's not who he is. Like, Daniel Jones is not that player. I think the fact they're using him as a game manager, sticking to Saquon Barkley, their amazing run game, I think that Brian Dable is actually really using this team to their strengths, and that's why they're winning games.
So they can
I
do
do
that
think
because Saquon's healthy, though. I really think
Yes, because
I
Saquon's
love
healthy.
Dable, but
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is like literally the heart and engine right now of that offense.
Oh,
and
he is. Yeah, he is.
He makes it easier, I think, for a good coach to look great.
It makes
know,
it easier for Daniel Jones as well, like
Yeah.
to pass the ball around. Like, makes it much
Daniel
easier
Jones
for him.
has only thrown 2 interceptions, which is better than I expected.
Yeah,
How are his fumbles? That's one of the things.
He's fumbled. He has 0 fumbles.
Whoa.
and
0.
also we like to see they're using Daniel Jones. He hasn't fumbled. He's being used a ton as a runner.
Yeah.
He's had at least 6 rush attempts in every game so far this
Yeah,
year.
Konami
With
code,
2
man.
of them with 10. Like, they're using his Brian Dable's using his strength with his legs and saying, hey, this guy's got legs. Let him run.
Yeah.
They're designing
The
runs.
other thing,
You'd think with how good the team has been, like you'd have at least one other usable fantasy piece, but like Daniel Jones has not been
I
usable
want to see Wanda
whatsoever.
Robinson
Like
now.
I
Robinson
agree.
might
I think
become-
Wanda Robinson could be
that's the best
usable in the
bet.
future. Yeah,
I do
4 targets
think
this past
that-
week,
Be
his
able
first
to-
game back. He's got in the end zone.
I
I
do
like
think that
Wanda.
Daniel Jones is. So coming into the year, you had kind of this group of quarterbacks: Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Jimmy G. Now, Daniel Jones, Winston, Davis Mills, Baker, Carson Wentz, Mariota, Trubisky. That kind of group that were like kind of in that like 1 year area and like competing for another job. And I feel like Daniel Jones is on the more likely than not of being a starter again in 2023 side of that. Partially because some of the other players have been so bad that, you know, there just aren't. Are there going to be 32 better quarterbacks? And what are the Giants going to do? Like, are the Giants probably not going to be in position to get a rookie that they want to start right away?
No, they might. Like, if they keep playing like this, they're not going to be in a position.
But they
to
declined
get-
Daniel Jones' 5th-year option. So
They did. So that means they would have to extend
extend
them-
him or
They would have
re-sign
to. New
him after
contract,
the
for sure.
season.
Yeah, they would have to.
But
They have no choice.
I do think Daniel Jones is going to start week 1, 2023 somewhere. I think he's shown more than Baker Mayfield had shown.
Oh yeah,
that's
I
not saying
think
much.
he's. Yeah, I
Which
agree.
isn't
Tyler. I
saying
think
much.
he'll be starting. He might not be the Giants because Giants. I don't know. They might find a way to get a pick in the top 10, maybe get a quarterback. But Daniel Jones will definitely be a starter somewhere. He's proven too much.
I
This year.
wouldn't
Like,
say
he's a very
definitely
solid
because
game
there's
man.
a lot of season left. You know, after
Yes,
3 or
obviously,
4
there's
weeks, we
lots
were
of
sure that Sam Darnold was going to be a starter.
Yes,
There's a lot of year. There's a lot of year left.
Sam
Carolina
Darnold's
right now.
crap last year.
But
Oh,
yeah, I
man.
would say that I'd rather have Daniel Jones in Dynasty over Jameis Winston.
Also, Bailey Zappi will be the starter. Is the franchise quarterback from the New England
Bailey Zappi.
Patriots. Bailey Zappi, franchise QB for the Patriots.
Oh,
Mac
Bailey
Jones,
Zappi.
who?
Yeah, Matt. Who's Mac Jones?
No
Bailey
one is
Zappi, bro.
laughing at. No one's laughing about Dan Snyder, to be honest.
No.
No.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this one.
Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, hey, let me ask you guys. So this is a trade that I saw. Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo is one side, and the other side is Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield in Dynasty Superflex 12 team.
That is funny. That's
Matt
funny.
Ryan,
Wait,
and Jimmy Garoppolo for
Matt
Derek
Ryan,
Carr
Jimmy
and Baker
Garoppolo for
Mayfield.
Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield.
Derek
Yeah.
Carr just feels like he's like the only one that has like
A
some
trajectory
value.
of success.
Yes,
or
I
a
agree.
progression.
Yeah, I agree there.
I guess I go
see, I agree.
Derek Carr.
I think I go the Derek Carr. It's Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield, right? That's what you
Yeah.
said.
Do you guys think Baker's done though?
I don't
Yeah,
think
there's
Baker gets a
different-
starting job.
So
Like even if he is done, that side
Is
has
it
like a
more value?
confirmed and guaranteed like 3 to 5 years,
Yeah.
whereas the other side you can't necessarily say that you have that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all tracking. I'm with you guys.
think
but
I'd go
thought
with
it was
Derek
a funny
Carr.
trade.
it's close enough.
very
like, I could
funny-
see
it's a very funny
situation where like it wouldn't bother me if I saw that trade go down in my league. You know, I'd be like, okay, guys.
No, yeah, I'd be whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, trades don't bother me ever. I mean, like some I'm like, come
No,
on,
not
why'd you
really.
do that?
Yo,
But
some trades bother me.
trading makes fantasy fun, guys. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm
Is it
the
really?
worst trade. I'm the worst trader in fantasy. I always send the stupidest
Oh.
trades. I always send the worst. I always
I've
I
been
my home
I've
league
been getting
always
so
accuses me of
lucky.
sending the worst trades.
this year I've been getting super lucky in my one. I have a redraft super flex league. And so after the first 2 weeks where Carson Wentz looked awesome, DK Metcalf didn't look great, I straight up sold Wentz for Metcalf. And so that's been looking awesome. And then I recently sold James Robinson for Dak. So
Nice.
Okay, what are
when he
what
was
are-
hurt, it's great. Oh, it's all the teams that literally were so needy for a quarterback. Usually, it's like he's starting Daniel Jones, and that's his only quarterback because he lost Trey Lance, he lost Dak, he lost this guy, and it's like that makes managers desperate, especially in Superflex. It's like if they have 3 players at a position and they like cannot physically start one of them like every single week, even like no matter how good they are, it's like they'll take a QB2 low end
Yeah.
just to be able to have a second quarterback to start. And it's
100%.
like, that's something, and that's exactly what you were saying, Josh, earlier, where it's like catering to what your teammate or your opponents need, because that's how you're going to get the best deals for yourself. Where, okay, I saw, we play Superflex and he has Daniel Jones as his only quarterback. Let me see if I can give him Wentz for literally anything. Like,
I'm in my home league right now, and I'm in the middle of trade talks with somebody. Not like right this moment, but I've been over the past few days. I had Trey Lance in this league, and he got injured, but I picked up Gino Smith, and I've had him for the last 2 weeks. He's been awesome. And this guy over here, he had Dak Prescott, who I don't know why, but he dropped him. I don't know why he did, but he dropped him. So his starting quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo. And now he is Kenneth Walker on his roster, and I'm trying to trade for Kenneth Walker with Gino Smith and a possible bench piece. He said he's tempted, but I don't know. But it's actually like
that's what they always.
So I might get that trade off.
Redraft,
and it's a redraft league.
Oh, yo, you'd be crushing that.
I'd be crushing that
in a 1 QB, yeah. Oh,
right now I'm about to be 4-2 after tonight. I'm winning by 10. And I still have a couple players left, so I'll be fine.
I actually just traded for Chase in one of my home leagues.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I traded Ramondre Stevenson and Christian Kirk. And there's a few flex spots, so like quantity does matter a little bit more. But
I think Kirk is a bit of a sell right now. Kirk's been.
I believe in
this
Kirk.
Jaguars offense has been off lately.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
He's kind of like
losing games.
low.
They've been off. I think Christian Kirk is. I'm getting worried about him.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I think he'll pick it back up. They're still trying to look for him. He got into the end zone. But yeah, I couldn't pass up on getting Jamar, and then he blew up this week. And Ramondre did really well as well. But I think for the long term, I don't know if New England generally stays with one running back.
He was a clear guy. I mean,
there's a stat courtesy of JJ Zacharyson, but the last 2 weeks, Ramondre's played over 85% of the snaps both weeks, and the last time that happened was Dion Lewis week 2 in 2015. So yeah, they like him a lot, and he's getting all of that work while.
Hey, were you playing fantasy football that long ago?
This past game,
15, yeah, that was. I was already a couple years.
Yeah,
I got. I'm only 25, but I've got a league that this is now year 12. So we've been
that's
playing.
Awesome, man.
That's half my life.
Awesome.
I've had one league at least.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's hopefully continues on for forever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are the best leagues, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are fun.
Let's get back to the chat.
Yeah.
Talon just traded Bateman in a 23 second for Hollywood.
I don't hate it because Bateman just hasn't showed up. Like, he really hasn't at all.
Well, that second feels like a lot on top of it.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a third.
Yeah, exactly.
Prefer a third, but I'm okay with this trade.
Especially if you're not competing this year.
Yes,
the second is probably a little bit higher. And you can use that as, you want that capital in the following draft, right?
Yeah. If you're not competing this year, why would you give away a future pick?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that strategy there.
So you're giving away youth and capital. Probably you want to do the opposite of that if you can.
Yes, if you're not competing this year.
Something that maybe could have gotten done straight up. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if the guy wants to give up Hollywood. He's looking for Bateman. I don't like give up the second either, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if the Hollywood guy was a contender, you could play like Bateman's going to come back. You just lost him for the year. You might need him. So I see what you're saying, but yeah, probably needs a little bit. But so yeah, like we kind of said, would have liked it if it was a third. Yeah, but it's still not like the worst.
I probably would have started with a fourth.
No. It's fair.
You worked your way up.
Very true.
Zach asked, do you think DJ Moore will be traded? Seen some stuff at the Panthers camp with the dead cap hit. What do you guys think?
I don't think he's gonna get traded. I don't think it's gonna get done. Unfortunately.
Don't worry, Darnold will come back and save his season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darnold.
Yeah.
It is.
I tweeted this a while ago. Sam Darnold is better for fantasy football for DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. Sam Darnold is the better fantasy player.
Can't be worse.
It really, I mean, the last few weeks for McCaffrey have been awesome. Like you clearly
That's
see
true.
the passing
They're using
volume.
him.
Like when you look at his game logs, the first 3 weeks were like really brutal. Last few weeks have been really good, and Christian McCaffrey, as a result, has been great for fantasy, scoring 23 PPR points in each of the past 3 weeks at least. Like first 3 weeks, 5 targets, 4 targets, and then the last 3 weeks it's been 9, 12, and 8.
Yeah.
Like they finally have started to use him.
That's the value right there.
He's
It's always
good.
his value has always been in his targets. I mean,
Yeah,
but man, for a little
absolutely.
bit they were using him just like
As a
he was like
grinder.
Derrick
As
Henry
a
Like a running
rusher.
Yeah, he had 200-yard games on the ground
Yeah.
in the first 3
But I
weeks.
think we've kind of seen it with some of these guys where it's like there's been stretches where Kamara or even like Swift at one point, like where they were just like really being used as a rusher, and rightfully so. Like they are also great rushers. Like it's not like they're only great pass catchers out of the backfield. So I mean, I don't think it's something where like even if he has stretches where they need to lean on him just way more in the run game, it's like he was still racking up over 100 yards when he was getting 5 targets, you know, like, so he's one of those guys. It's like absolute cheat code. Doesn't matter what happens. He's objectively going to be like the RB1 or at worst, like 2 or 3 on a given week. And then in terms of DJ, it's just like, I feel like if this team is, you know, kind of starting back over and like cleaning house, it's like, unless you're going to get a good amount of value for DJ Moore, it doesn't really make sense to me to like trade the one still kind of young, good
25?
asset. Yeah, he's played like 5 years in the league and he's somehow like 24. Like I don't know, it's like, he's one of those guys. It's like he's put up, you know, borderline wide receiver 2-3 seasons almost every. It's like that's been the joke. It's like 1104 every year. It's like pencil it in, and so it's like he's done that with a not great offense, not great quarterback play. So. To me, it's like, why are you going to entertain really, really low ball offers that aren't going to help your team truly rebuild and trade them away? So I think they're going to, you know, hopefully realize that and be like, nah, like we'd rather just keep DJ than get like a 2025 7th round pick. Like,
even in
like,
Dynasty, right?
God,
Even
no.
in Dynasty, I think he's a hold because people are selling him for way too cheap, man.
I think that it's much more likely that Christian McCaffrey gets traded. Much more likely. He's looked
Yes,
better.
it's much
that's
more
the thing.
likely.
There's
for
more
sure.
value to be recouped. It's like if you can, we're talking about possibly getting.
Actually, I think you
but
might be able to get more value out of DJ Moore if you're the Panthers.
But we're talking about getting a first or multiple firsts for Christian McCaffrey. There is zero chance they're getting a first for DJ Moore. I don't think. Yeah. Like I mean, in terms of Christian McCaffrey, it's like he's gonna definitely get you more value, I think, and so it would make sense if they trade him and they are able to get, you know, a first and a second or something. It's like that's something you want for your franchise after you just like fired your coach and you're kind of, you know, starting from scratch. So
maybe a first is a little much for DJ Moore, especially with his production this year. But I think of like the Ravens, they got a 1st round pick for Marquise Brown, who had concerns, I would say, right? So I don't know. I could see a world where they get.
I think you can get a first from DJ Moore.
Maybe a first, yeah.
I think they can get a first from DJ Moore.
Yeah,
I don't know if they can get one from McCaffrey. McCaffrey's 26. His cap hit is through the roof. I don't think they're gonna be able to get a first from him.
The problem with DJ Moore is he just hasn't done anything this year, right?
No, they haven't. Yeah, that's the only thing that would stop him from not getting that first, is because he just like hasn't produced this year. And then the Panthers have put themselves in a stupid situation, because you're planning on trading DJ Moore. You better give him a heck load of targets so he can produce some numbers and he can look good on the field. But they're not looking his way.
Well, PJ Walker wasn't looking anyone's way. I think what do you have, like
McCaffrey's way?
Yard? He's like one
McCaffrey's way.
It was like crazy.
He's averaging nearly 10 targets a game in the past 3 games. They're looking his way. They're going to fit him.
Funny. Jacob Eason had like one less yard on like 7 or like half or something the attempts and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it did look like they were, like you're saying, like
getting
showcasing Christian McCaffrey and being like, hey, look how good he is. Someone give us something. Whereas like, it's like DJ Moore, it's like we're not making him look awesome to try to present him in a package for something like.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to try to trade him.
That's interesting.
Really
so I agree. I do think like I do think it's more likely that McCaffrey gets traded than DJ. but
Yeah, definitely.
we'll see.
Not for multiple firsts, though. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
get that.
No, they're not getting multiple firsts for Christian McCaffrey. There's no way in NFL. Like the NFL nowadays, no one's going to do that. It's just not going to happen in the NFL anymore. I think maybe if a win now team like
Just
the Bills,
quarterbacks.
I feel like the Bills might be able to give up a first because I mean, they're win now mode. Like they're going all in. A team that's going all in might be willing to give that first for him if they have one. But I don't see a team wanting to give multiple firsts for a 26-year-old running back on a massive contract. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Keep your first, go for Bijan Robinson or one of the other
think-
amazing class.
Yeah, I
running
think
backs
that's
in
a
the
good
class.
point with what Tyler was saying too. It's like if you're in the bottom half of the first round, then it's like, okay, you're probably not going to get a chance at Bijan. So it's
We got
more
Jahmyr
likely...
Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah,
Jahmyr
no,
Gibbs
there
is
are.
gonna be
I
there.
mean,
there's some
like,
good running backs in
there-
this class besides Bijan Robinson. There's some good guys.
No, there are, but I
Yeah.
think those are the teams that are more likely, at least, though, to
Yeah,
like you said,
that's
like
true.
the Bills more likely with their bottom pick in the first
Chiefs.
round to do that.
The Chiefs are
Alright.
there.
Traded.
Randy took a gamble trade.
Wow,
CH and
that's a
McLaren
good
for
gamble.
Walker in London.
That's a very.
I would
good-
assume this is redraft.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah,
Dynasty,
that's a
holy
dynasty.
crap.
That's dynasty. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
redraft,
redraft. That's a great
job.
bet. Oh
Good
my
job.
goodness.
I don't
Was
know
that
that
a-
it was necessarily much of a gamble per se.
I was just about to
I
say,
think-
was it a gamble even before last week?
No, because
No,
not
Walker,
really.
Penny,
wasn't.
the Penny news was out, right? That he's gonna
It was a
miss.
good trade last
So
week.
Walker already, the other guy must not have been paying too much attention, I think, because even CH and McLaurin straight up for Walker might be in play, like at this point. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, but hey, more power to you, Randy. I'm glad you got that deal in because you're gonna reap the benefits of that for sure. Walker is just gonna
Absolutely.
be, I think he's RB1 like rest of the way. Just set it and forget it.
I totally agree with you. Josh says, has Andrews or Kelsey passed Pitts as tight end one?
In Dynasty.
I would assume
Andrews.
Dynasty.
Definitely not Kelsey. Just because
I've
of his
seen
age.
that. I have seen a lot of the
Maybe it'd be
rumblings
Andrews.
on Twitter, and I do kind of. It's hard not to agree. Like where
Oh,
we are
yeah.
right now.
What?
It's
Andrews
hard-
is absolutely past him.
Yeah. If
No,
I
it's
was doing
not
a
even-
Dynasty
no, it's
startup
not
draft right
even.
now, I would draft Andrews ahead of Kyle Pitts.
Well, it's
Yeah,
an interesting question though, right? Because if this is Dynasty, I think that the trajectory of Pitts could still, go much farther
If you
past.
wanted to draft
fucking
Pitts over Andrews or Kelsey, I'm still fine with it in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'm
I
not.
mean,
if I see it happen,
I
I'm
think
not
that's
going to
fine.
freak out on you, but I won't personally do it.
I
It's
just
closer.
personally
The gap's
like-
closer now.
Yeah, like I've taken Kelsey in startups in like the first few rounds, but that's when there's a tight end premium. I mean, I generally stay away from tight ends unless it's later on, like in redraft and Dynasty.
Yeah, no, so like sorry about that. Do you hear the echo or is that just me?
No, I think it's just you. We don't hear it.
Okay.
I don't.
I hear it.
You hear it. Okay.
So
I don't know
who
where
said they
the-
didn't hear it?
Yeah, whoever didn't hear it is where the echo's coming from.
Oh, that was
Um,
me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, now I
no,
hear it. There it is.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, no, my
We're good.
eyes. I noticed if anyone's been watching the show over the last few weeks, you probably noticed that I like duck out in the middle of it for like what seems to be an extended period of time. My eyes have been like so cooked lately. Like whenever I stare at the screen, it's usually right around the 60 to 90 minute mark. My eyes suddenly start to like get a pair of these
Really
hurt.
What?
What are those?
Blue light filter glasses. They're
Oh.
like meant to help with that, essentially.
Yeah,
maybe I gotta work on that.
Yeah.
You got.
I would
You
still
know what?
draft.
There you go. He's got him on.
Oh,
I
he's
just saw this on
prepared.
Twitter. Hold on, I just saw this on Twitter.
I don't
Did
like.
you guys know
I don't like the
Tyreek Hill-
reflection of them.
Do you guys know that Tyreek Hill is on pace to beat
I
the
did.
single season receiving yard record?
Oh,
I did know that. I did.
He's
see that,
he's
yeah.
like on pace for like
He's on pace to beat
1,900
it.
yards.
Yeah, he's having a monster season.
He's had 3 games above 160 yards.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's been unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Still not as good
Oh
as
my
Cooper
goodness.
Cup.
In fantasy, sure. He's number
yeah.
13. But
Yeah.
Diggs is number 1 in fantasy.
So
Oh.
who here would? What
Diggs
about a
is
poll?
insane.
Who
That
here
makes a
would
lot of sense.
actually take Pitts ahead of Andrews in Dynasty? Just me.
I would not. Honestly, I was one of the people. I thought Andrews, before the season started, it was a genuine debate for me who was tight end 1. I chose Kyle Pitts, but it was still a genuine debate. I feel like for a lot of the fantasy community, Pitts was in his own tier. It was not like
That's
that
how
for
I
me.
had it.
Pitts was not
how
in
I
his
have
own
it
tier for me in
anymore.
Dynasty. It was Pitts and Andrews in their own tier. I thought they were both in the same tier.
I think. Yep.
That was me
you
before.
summed it up for how I feel now.
that was me before the season started, and now after I'm Andrews above. But they're both in the same tier. I think
the way I think about it though is like
Andrews is above.
I guess sometimes I don't know. I mean, how low am I even going to drop Pitts if the rest of the season is like this? I mean, how low is he going to go?
What is he? He's only 21. So
how much longer is Arthur Smith coaching on the Falcons?
5.
Hopefully not much longer, but he's
Pitts
winning
is
games.
young enough that it doesn't matter.
He's winning games. That's the problem.
He's got his first
the
American
Falcons are 4-2, right? Aren't they 4-2?
3-3, and Marcus Mariota
3-3.
is not going to be the quarterback forever.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I think
That's what we think till
Arthur
Arthur Smith
Smith's
spites
fault. We have
us.
to be mad at him.
But honestly,
all
even in this
different.
past season, like past off season, if you did a dynasty startup, I think it also is strategy. Like if you were planning on winning like this season, and you
that's
built
dangerous.
that, you would. I think Kelsey for me at the off season point
Kelsey,
is
that's
definitely
fair.
the first I would take.
Well, Kyle Pitts' redraft price was always insane to me. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
never in on that.
Oh yeah, it was
Never.
high.
Never.
Third
It was
round.
in like
Too much
mid
expectation.
second.
Either.
It was like in the
It was
mid
high.
second. I
It
always
was
I always
high.
laughed at that. I always thought that was ridiculous.
I
was
got him.
never,
I got him
ever,
in the
ever
league
in on
and
that.
I was super
Argue with
happy
me
about it.
that. Oh.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna look this up.
I
I
honestly said oftentimes that Kyle Pitts was one of the worst picks of anyone in the top 25 to 30 in redraft by far, and criticized it every time it happened on one of our mock drafts.
How many people
every
brought
single
up?
time? But
How
just
many
because
people were like Marcus Mariota was really good with Delaney
But
Walker back in the
a
day?
lot of
though.
them. But the reason why I criticized it
that all
was
the
because I
time.
thought he would be
He was.
tight end 3 to 5 and like a good second season for a tight end, but just not what you wanted from a premium top 2 to 3 round pick. That's a
Yeah, because
wasted pick.
it's just like when you
But in
look at
Dynasty, I thought it would be something good to build on, and then we would build, and he would be 22 going into 2023, and he would have 2 good seasons on his resume. That's great, but this is not what I expected. I
So
didn't expect it to
Kyle
be this bad.
When you
He
look
right
at the
now,
off-
Kyle Pitts is
Right.
22 on a points per game average,
Bruh.
and Evan Ingram is 19. Just wanted to put that out there. So
You know what's
Well, you know I hate Evan Ingram.
man,
I know you
Evan
too. Oh, that's one of the
Ingram.
guys that I'm all about
yeah.
it that you don't like.
You know what's really scary about Kyle Pitts though is he's had 3 games this year so far that he plays less than 65-70% of the snaps, and then
The
2
snaps
games
are going down
where
too. It's
he-
not
I
just
don't
the
care.
target.
no. So listen.
It's
He has
crazy.
3 games with under 70% snaps, and then 2 games with over that amount. Those 3 games under 70%, the Falcons have won all 3 of those games. So that is telling Arthur
my
Smith,
God.
that's working. So that is the worst part for me, where it's like, he finally got over 70%. He had 80% of the snaps, and he caught a couple passes, but they lost. And then
You got to look
here
at
he
what
comes.
he's being used
He's
as,
out-
right?
He's exactly, and so this week he's finally was out there when it was just like 11 more than recently, but he's still getting outsnapped by Parker Hesse. Like,
Yeah, and when you look at their
Parker
when
Hesse.
you
It's
look at
still
their
happening.
If you
remaining
showed
schedule-
me a picture of Parker Hesse, I don't think I would know who it is.
He's still
Yeah, I
blocking.
don't think so
He's
either.
still blocking
No,
too much.
I would know. But hold on, but look at their when you talk about them winning games, you look at their schedule down the line as well. I mean, they have within week 7 through 13, they have 2 matchups with Carolina. Okay, those could be wins. They have a matchup with Chicago. They have Washington. They have a matchup with Pittsburgh. Like they have a lot of opportunities to win games down the stretch if they continue winning with this type of pace. Because the Kyle Pitts, it hasn't been like all enough with snaps. The last 3 weeks, he's been under 70%. The last 3 weeks
Let's
he's
remind
played.
ourselves that the Falcons are tied for
That's
first
where we're at.
place.
The last 3
Those
weeks
are
he's played, he's
all
been under
wins.
70% of the snaps. So we just like if that keeps working, if they continue to do that and they continue to win games, they're going to continue doing that. And that Kyle Pitts, rest of the season, I'm just done. Like I'm done rest of the season with Kyle
That's
Pitts.
a
I
good
want to know what
point
his
in terms of the
blocking grade
matchup.
is.
And you
know,
can't
what
start
is
him
Kyle
anymore.
Pitts'
He's
blocking grade?
unstartable.
Here, I'll tell you that in a second, Josh.
Oh, yeah. PFF puts it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that? What?
Pitts' blocking grade. Like, is he an amazing blocker? That's what they keep on using.
Yeah, he's out there blocking.
George Kittle 2.0.
Yeah. No, it's funny
Yeah.
because
Oh no.
I forgot who tweeted out like Kyle Kyle Pitts has confirmed that he'll likely start or like play, and I responded with, yeah, but is it going to be as a tight end or as an offensive lineman? So people are like, because it's true, man. If you have someone like him,
it's
an
where we're
athlete
at.
that can catch,
Guys, Daniel Bellinger is outproducing Kyle Pitts in fantasy.
yeah,
Yeah, but
where
Daniel
we're at.
Bellinger's
one guy.
good.
He's an interesting,
He
pickup
is.
or like trade candidate. I think, like in
Daniel
terms of
Bellinger?
dynasty, because there was a lot of stuff coming into the season where people were like, "Hey, this guy could be really good," and he's
Mike
showing it
Gesicki's
now.
better than Kyle Pitts right now.
No, he's
Isn't
not.
that crazy?
No, when you look at
He's
fantasy
being
points,
better
it is.
used. He's being better used, better utilized.
He's a top 12 tight end right now, Mike Gesicki, because after this big week.
Yeah, so
He's not
the
start
tight end,
sit.
he's not.
We don't do start sit on Monday.
Gesicki
Yeah,
season.
no.
I just don't. I don't even look at it. My goal is
All right.
always to have
This
start
is-
sit done by the time I go live on Tuesday night. But
Pretty-
we don't do it.
Pretty interesting. Kyle Pitts is by and far the best pass blocking tight end in football.
Like,
According to
actually?
PFF.
Well, 'cause he's
85
a monster.
Listen, 85.3
He's
pass block
6'2",
grade. And number 2 is OJ Howard at 80.8. So almost
Wow.
five points
Wow.
in PFF
Wow.
higher than
Yeah,
the next
crazy.
tight end.
6'6", 246, and he's
That's-
so athletic. He's gonna be able to block. He's so good.
But on the other hand, his run blocking is very much like middle of the pack.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
They're trying to protect
Oh.
Mariota, right? I mean, that's what it is, I guess.
yeah. That's
Mm.
really interesting though.
Yeah.
It is. It is very interesting.
So it's not like he's a crappy pass blocker and they keep making him block. Like, he actually is pass blocking well.
Yeah, he's good at it, and they're winning games because of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So,
it's tough for
okay.
fantasy, though.
So just to address this comment really quickly, I want to keep comment from FF Lefty. I want to keep commenting on the live show, but I don't want to derail you guys. Make the show 10 hours long. Real dilemmas. So yes, I have decided that we'll try to focus more on some of the chat stuff, and then I'll have like a few things I want to get to. We've gotten to most of the things I really wanted to get to today. So yeah, as soon as we get through the chat, I can start just getting through the last couple of things and then wrapping up. But yeah, it's if I will say that if the chat is quiet, the show will be shorter. So, but I want the show to be longer. So, but I'll keep it longer for stuff in the chat. But I'm not gonna like read off I'm not gonna have as many segments, as many discussion points as I've had in the past. Because this show being 3.5 hours is not sustainable. For me, I think we've seen how exhausted I've been. Feel better this week though. Okay, rebuild update. Tyler has helped me do wonders. Oh, thank you. I have 323 firsts, 323 seconds. Brees Hall, ETN, London, Bateman, Njoku, and Muth. Okay, my 3 firsts on my own, the 11th place and the 8th place team. Good. Really look forward to next season. I have 224 seconds. Currently selling ETN, but not getting enough. Yeah.
Hold.
ETN's a hard player to move,
I
I
was gonna
think.
say probably
Yeah.
hold for the time being.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's winning that backfield.
I know.
He really is. It's starting to
up.
become a shift in the Jacksonville backfield, and he's looking like he's going to be the lead.
I don't think there's actually going to be a lead, to be honest. Like, so I think that James Robinson is going to always have a niche there, but ETN is definitely showing that he can handle a lot more. So we'll see how it goes. But I just feel like James Robinson is still too good to not play, and he fits their offense when he's needed. So
I think he's kind of it's tough because like beyond kind of the box score, if you look, it's ETN's definitely looked better, like better efficiency almost across everything over Robinson. And it seems like Robinson is just like, unless they have a favorable game script, unless he scores a touchdown, like it doesn't look good for him. Like he's not one of those guys like from last year or 2 years ago when he was able to, he still adds 5 receptions, for some empty yards. That doesn't really happen anymore with a guy like ETN that he's sharing with. So I'm really, I'm not looking, I don't think it's looking too great for the rest of his season. Especially like after the first few weeks, the Jaguars looked awesome. and you could have told me they have more of these game scripts, I would have bought into it. And like,
I don't understand. With Robinson, they were winning games, and with Robinson, they were winning games, and they were looking great. And now all of a sudden they've switched, and it's like they're starting to lose.
ETN's been the better back, though.
No, yeah, I don't think it was with Robinson they were winning games. I think it was they were winning games, so Robinson was like able to be that more of a workhorse. And yes, he did definitely help them like get to winning the game. But like,
I think it is what it is. They're gonna split work. I think that this reminds me a little bit of AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Ooh, that's bad right now.
Yeah, that's not good right now.
It's not good
and
for
I think
either
it's,
of
unfortunately,
them.
it's kind of similar. I don't think it's gonna be. You're not really gonna be able to trust either one.
Yeah.
As more than a low end RB2.
But Jones still has the higher upside, I think, in terms of just his.
Well, ability. Jones is a lot. Yeah, Jones has more upside than either of these two for now.
Yeah.
But Jones is also 27.
I think he's still. I believe he's like second in yards created per touch so far this year. Like. He is still very much like an efficient guy. I mean, just hope he needs more pass catching work.
It's important to remember for Dynasty's sake that James Robinson is a restricted free agent after this year, but restricted free agents tend to get retained even when it makes no sense. Look at Dearness Johnson. No sense why they need him. They don't need him at all.
Literally not even using him. Like
not even using him.
He's
inactive. He's not even using him, but they're just paying him in case there's an injury. So, I mean, often, even when it makes no sense to retain them, restricted free agents are almost always retained.
So you're saying that's a bad thing for his outlook?
I'm not saying. I'm saying it's the reality is that we're probably having another year of this next year. Next year, it's going to be James Robinson and Travis Etienne there again.
So what you're saying is you're not getting too high on Travis Etienne, even though he's looking like the more explosive player?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
But I do want to recognize that I think there is some ceiling there.
Yeah. You can. I've seen him moved for a first, so I mean, if you can do that out, by all means,
I'd take it and get out.
Yeah.
Because I think without a Robinson injury, the ceiling is not there. Unless the offense became a lot better.
The ceiling is really low.
Unless he could be Aaron Jones in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
But I think the ceiling might be Aaron Jones of 2022. And that's not as exciting.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones has Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball right now, but it's not the same offense.
Yeah, but but I think that might be the ceiling, and that's not as good.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
More likely to return in 2023, Brady or Rodgers?
Either.
It's a good question.
Rodgers.
Brady. What is he going to go home to?
That's true. Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh,
he doesn't have
man.
I mean, I don't mean to be mean, but it's like,
no, it's close. It's close.
You choose football over family, and then you're not doing too hot in football. It's like double whammy, you know.
Is the Jeopardy spot open?
All the memes were.
Hey,
brutal.
I mean,
yeah, they're brutal.
Yeah.
Man. I feel because
I mean, to be fair,
divorce is not something to joke about because I know people who have been so affected by it, and from the childhood on. I was actually disappointed when Brady came back, even though like I had just gotten a dynasty team where Brady was one of the main QBs in a super flex. Like when he decided to come back, I was honestly shocked because all the things that before he had said was like, it's time to spend with my family now. I've won the Super Bowl that the last thing that I wanted to do and all these kind of things like, and then he goes back. Like I don't know. What can I say? I do feel
I was
bad
also a bit disappointed. Yeah. It seems like it seems like it really swaps, like go back to be time with family, like all that. And he won a Super Bowl. He did everything he wanted to accomplish. Like he said that.
Yeah.
And then he came back like a month later. How was it? Like a month?
Yeah, like a month
later and said, "No, I'm back playing football." And it's like
he's still been good this year, though.
And that
he's
means
good.
So
it just hasn't been what we expected this Bucs team to be.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been the expectations of what this. I mean, they just lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kenny Pickett, who got injured in that game. Then Mitch Trubisky, like,
I mean,
I feel kind of bad
true.
about my comment now, but hey, on that note, thanks for having me on, Tyler. I got to bounce, but it was really good talking with all of you guys. Appreciate
Josh
all the discussion.
Yeah, I know. It was come back anytime.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Have a good one.
Well, now that he's gone, you know what I'm saying?
So I don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't talk about this much, but like I mean, maybe the people don't even know this, but I don't think they would, right? Like, I used to be married. I don't know how many of you guys even knew that, let alone the people watching the show.
I definitely.
I did not
know
know
that.
I did.
You've mentioned that.
Mentioned
I think
it
Ryan
before.
and I.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
How old are you? If you don't mind.
27.
All right. Yeah. That's surprising.
Yeah. So I started doing all this fantasy stuff like after we broke up. So you guys wouldn't have me if I were still married. This show wouldn't exist.
Screw him.
Oh, I mean, my wife, like, she was.
Wait, didn't you say he?
No.
All right.
No, it's funny.
So how did you meet your wife?
College. The last thing she did, you'll never believe this. Like, one of the last things she ever did was encourage me to work in the fantasy industry.
Wow.
Wow.
So why wouldn't you have done it if you were still together?
Because I don't think like I would have had time. You know? Like, how would I have time? Like, I wouldn't have had time. Like, I just didn't have time for this. I have a lot more time.
I don't have a wife for kids. Or it does make it a little bit easier. Yeah, you're right.
It's funny though.
It makes it a lot more easier.
Yeah.
No.
Would you spend the 23rd on Gabe?
No.
No. Oh my god.
Gabe Davis
One day, this is
I
one
spent
last
all
thing.
summer-
One day we'll
Oh
get
my
the full
God.
Tyler life story, but we
Gabe Davis.
would need a whole show on that. I thought about I was on Get Real with Casey Kasem, but we talked a little bit. Actually, I think we did talk about my
That
marriage.
seems like the time to talk about it.
I think we did talk about it, but I think we mostly talked about my time in the
I think I'm gonna
fantasy
get on that show
makes
soon.
sense.
Actually, I think me and Casey.
Oh,
are in
really?
touch right now. I think me and Casey are in touch right now about going on that show.
Oh, you should do
For
it.
real.
I think we talked a little bit about my marriage,
we've been
but
trying
like,
to schedule it. She can't. Like we've been trying to schedule it. She's like keeps like saying, "Oh, I gotta move it back," and I'm like, "Okay, no worries."
aw.
But it's
no, we talked a little bit
fun.
about that. But yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, no, though.
Guarantee you she's not
Gabe Davis is somebody that's going to go out there and he's going to get very little volume, but some of the games he's going to catch a big touchdown. It's going to be awesome and Twitter's going to explode. And then everyone's going to go crazy. And the next week he's going to suck. Like Gabe Davis is somebody that's going to have some big games, and some bad games. It's not worth the 23 first.
He's gonna suck next week.
Yes, next week he will probably suck.
He's
4
on bye.
targets, 2 receptions, 16 yards.
I think
I
they're
should know.
over.
I should know that, but I don't.
Yeah. Don't start him next week. Yeah. Are you
think
taking the
next week
first
would
pick?
4 targets, 2 receptions, 16 yards.
I think it's worth
Oh
it.
my god. I love
One
seeing-
touchdown.
This was one of the things I put
Oh
on
my
the show
God,
sheet.
1 touchdown.
This was one thing I put in the show sheet. The Gabe Davis debate rages on because like the target share people and the like fantasy point people are like constantly butting heads over this.
We're never gonna
Yeah.
get a, an
No,
answer.
Gabe Davis will be a controversial player in fantasy football forever. Like, because the thing is, he's going to have.
Wow. I mean,
He's
forever's a
going to
long
have-
time much.
Yeah, he's going
Really
to have
bad on this
big
one.
game. Like, look, I understand why people like Gabe Davis. I understand it coming into the season. I mean, the number 2 opportunity for the Bills was right there. But when you look at this season, how he's been statistically, the volume has just pretty much never been there consistently. It just hasn't been there. The games where he's blown up are games where he gets a deep touchdown. Those are the games where he blows up. Those are the games where he puts up good fantasy numbers. And sure, he has a couple games where he's going to be great, but it's not going to be consistent ever. Gabe Davis just isn't a consistent
Davis
option.
is
You're going to start him. He's going to have some
22.
big games. He's going to have some bad games.
He's 22 though. Maybe it'll become consistent later.
This is his
20.
3rd year.
It's like
I know.
I
but,
mean,
like,
we've seen it
after
with like
3
someone like Lockett. Lockett was always a huge boom bust in the last 2-3 years. He's been a
Yeah.
lot more consistent. So I mean, it's not like it's impossible, but I do agree. It's like
I would
This
still
is
really
rather
his
have
can't
this.
year, and it
command-
hasn't really like because it
he can't
his
command
rookie year didn't
targets.
get much.
That
His
is
rookie
number
year didn't
one.
get much, but the second year was like this too. The second year, a little bit less volume, but the second year was like this too. He had a few big games. He also had just a very inconsistent volume or had some bad games. And now 3rd year, we're seeing pretty much the same thing, maybe just a little bit more volume because of Sanders and Beasley all gone. But it's
So
just
is he worth the first?
no,
Did we answer that?
he's not worth it.
Yeah. I think that's the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Sending out an early first and Lawrence for Allen. Every single spot I have both. So hard to replace a top 3 quarterback in Superflex.
It is. A Superflex league. If you don't have
really
a
hard to
quarterback,
replace.
it's so tough. Yeah.
But if this is the 10-team league, right?
Well, I think he's
they're
just
going back to
saying.
that
I think
10
he's just saying like generally.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Because I was thinking about the 3 Superflex 10-team league, mixing those up. We're good. Because that was T-Law and a first for Allen.
We did this already. You should be getting the plus on the Hollywood side, not Bateman.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I'm good. Okay, because my mic unplugged for a second.
Oh,
Josh, your favorite site's back.
Yeah, Tinder Dash High.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh my
Literally,
God.
guys,
Yeah.
the best adult dating site out there. Like I'm telling you,
You see what happens?
I'm probably
you see what
making them
happens when
scam
I'm
more.
like unleashed. We get talk about marriage and Josh's dating life.
Yeah. That's where I find all my favorite people in the world.
Careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful, Josh.
Favorite people in the what did I say?
Josh, be careful with what you say.
I don't use Tinder Dash Hot XYZ.
You just use regular Tinder.
I just use
ever
regular
use that
Tinder
word.
Dash Hot. Like it's a lot better. than
Don't
XYZ.
ever use that, please, for the love of God. Oh my goodness.
I don't know, Hutch. Have you ever used it? Don't knock until you try it.
Not doing that. I don't think I'll
gotta
ever
be
do
18.
online dating. I think I'll be 18 anyway. I don't think I'm ever
man.
gonna do that.
It's overrated.
You will.
No, I won't. I don't think I'll ever do that.
You'll give it a shot. You'll download the app at some point.
I think you'll give it a try.
You'll be like, let's just see what's
think,
about.
I don't think I can do that. That's just something I don't think I can do.
I used to say that.
I'm not doing it. There's no.
I said the exact same thing. I said
I'm
the
not-
exact same
no.
thing
I'm not gonna do that.
constantly. Yeah, they're not trading DJ Moore. I feel like I had my headphones in when my eyes were hurting and heard you guys talk about that. They're not trading DJ Moore.
Yeah, we were talking about.
They're not.
trade.
They
More
just
likely
extended
that
him to a
McCaffrey.
long-term deal. The dead cap hit would be massive. Like they're not trading DJ Moore.
Ooh, this is a fun question. I don't think Christian McCaffrey can get much higher than where he's at right now.
No, and I don't think he's being traded either.
He's getting traded. He's going down. But who's a player that can
I
get
don't think
traded?
he's
that
being
will go
traded.
up? Yeah,
I mean,
well, if he
Cam
gets traded.
Akers, if the alternative is that he sits on the Rams roster for the rest of the season and
That
doesn't play,
that's definitely
then
potential.
yes, if that's the alternative,
about Elijah
DJ
Moore?
is better. Elijah Moore is not getting traded.
You don't think he's getting traded? Interesting.
Not during the
silly.
season, though. They're 4-2 with a young quarterback. They're not trading Elijah Moore in the middle of the season. They might
probably
trade Elijah.
but-
Now wait.
Get
Now
anywhere
I
near
could
as
see
much.
what I could see happening is we get to February and Elijah Moore was not happy with the season and demands a
Right.
trade at that point. I could see that happening, and then him being traded. But I don't see Elijah Moore being traded in the middle of the season. But I
Especially
do
after
think
his
that
zero target
Elijah Moore is
game.
not happy. And if they don't accommodate
No,
him
Elijah
over the
Moore's
rest
not
of the
happy.
season,
He's
he
got to
won't be
get
there.
target. Yeah, he won't. I would.
In
I think
season-
Elijah Moore. I think Elijah.
in-season
I would.
trades, 4-2 teams don't trade away weapons
No,
with an
that's
unproven quarterback who needs all the help he can get.
I think trading for him in Dynasty is a good
realistic.
choice right now. If you're
I
not
agree.
looking to win this year, I think trading for him in Dynasty is a great option.
I mean, I just got offered a trade for him, and I declined.
Oh, tell us about that.
Yeah, I would decline. I have Elijah Moore in most Dynasty and redraft formats.
Well,
Elijah
depends
Moore
what the
not
offer is.
all in on.
Oh,
All in on
I was
Dynasty, but
I was being offered Elijah Moore. It was Elijah Moore in a late third for Rashad White and Geno Smith, and I said no.
I take Elijah Moore.
I would
do
do
it.
Elijah Moore. Sign.
I like Rashad White too
No.
much. I feel like.
Well,
I'm
wait, is it a
established
super
this.
flex?
Yeah.
Well, otherwise Geno Smith would have no value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gino Smith had no, but yeah, I would take. Yeah, I still take Elijah. Yeah, who else could get we just saw Robbie Anderson get traded, but who else could really I don't see. I'm trying to look at teams and think about the players. I just don't see.
I'm looking at the list of players, just trying to think of who possibly.
I'm
could
looking
be
at the
traded,
list of
just
NFL.
like-
I'm looking at the list of NFL teams right now. I'm just trying to think who could on these rosters who could get traded. And
Maybe
outside of the
Brandon
Dynasty,
Galladay.
who we've seen getting traded 3 different times, throughout his career, Brandon Cooks, and has been good whenever he's traded. And he hasn't been very good.
He's been weird this year. It hasn't been the volume hasn't been there as much this year.
I know. So there's no rumors of it. I'm just speculating, obviously.
Yeah.
The team's not very good. He's getting older. Another team could use him a lot more. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't see any teams that are like, yes, that player would get traded. Like, I just don't see that.
Look, I'm a Ravens fan. I would take Brandon Cooks. I think he would fit him pretty well, actually.
Brandon Cooks is a good name, to be honest.
That's a good game. That's a good name. Yeah, Brandon Cooks.
I mean, he's due to get traded soon, right?
He's like a yearly. He's been on the same team for too long. He's got to be traded.
I know.
It's like I think there's like a 2.5 year limit or something.
The Rams could be interested in reacquiring Brandon.
Maybe.
Oh my god. Because Al
Wouldn't
Robinson
that be
was a
funny?
disaster.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Van Jefferson's coming back. Don't worry.
Oh God. I don't know.
They did it.
Brandon Cooks is a good name.
A good amount.
Brandon Cooks is a good name
Brandon
because
is
if
a
Brandon
good
Cooks
name,
were like
I'd
traded
say.
to the Chiefs, he would definitely gain value.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was put on the Chiefs? Yes, that'd be awesome.
Maybe the Packers.
Oh, that'd be good.
We say that every year. I think it's time to stop saying that.
I know.
All right.
Who isn't on the Packers?
Let's-
hypothetically?
Alan
let's
Lazard needs another capable receiver out there.
Let's keep going in the chat, and then I want I'm gonna I'll take us through the chat, and I also want each of you to think of if there's anything. And this is, by the way, something that we're gonna do in future weeks. I should have told you guys this in advance. I did tell you.
I like doing stuff on the spot.
Yeah, but the best thing is if you guys come up with something that's a surprise to me, so you see my surprise reaction. But if there's any storylines that we haven't really covered today that you guys want to address, just keep those in mind, and we'll get to that after we get to the bottom of the chat.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So this trade here, I just traded Etienne and Judy for a Najee. Did I win? Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a dynasty or a redraft, but
in Dynasty, you definitely did.
I feel like it's close either way.
Yeah. I
honestly.
mean,
I feel like people are entertaining Najee for ETN straight up.
Yeah. I feel like people are entertaining that.
And I think I don't know. I think that's tough already.
I think I'd go with Najee.
Najee for me, I want to give him. I think next week is my last straw.
Oh no, his last chance was many weeks ago for me.
No, I think he just got the plate removed from his foot though, and the Tampa Bay matchup, we know what they do to running backs.
But
we know what they do to running backs, and now this week,
All right.
this coming week, week 7 against Miami, who have been horrifically bad against running backs.
Well, that one better be good because the next two are at the Eagles and then the Saints.
Well, Eagles have been bad against the run too. They can't stop the run.
I mean, the Eagles' defense has just been good overall.
Eagles' defense has been good, but they can't stop the run. Their run defense has been pretty bad most of the season.
Hasn't really been that bad. I mean, the Eagles' defense has been so good overall that, like,
let me look.
I mean, what did the Cardinals do on the ground against them? Not much.
I mean, it's the Cardinals.
The Cowboys were
power
okay on the ground, I guess, but that's just because they couldn't do anything through the air.
I'm looking at. Oh, let's see.
The Jaguars didn't do much on the ground against them. I don't think I consider the Eagles to be a minus matchup. I'm not running to start running backs against the Eagles. The Eagles defense has been very good.
I think as a whole.
And my other issue with the Eagles is the Eagles have been winning. So if the Eagles have been winning, that puts them ahead, which scripts out running backs. Like there were a couple of games where the running backs against the Eagles were played okay, but they were scripted out of the game entirely.
Yep.
So, yeah. But that aside, in this trade, I think this trade is fair for me. I'm worried in redraft about Najee that he's just not going to be healthy all year. You know? Isn't that a concern?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I think it's a very fair trade in Dynasty and redraft. I'm
talked about
nervous
it earlier.
Najee, but I'm nervous about Etienne and Judy. At least they have upside.
I just feel like Najee, like after what we saw last year, unless you really thought that like his efficiency was gonna like skyrocket as opposed to last year, unless he got anywhere close to that volume, like he wasn't gonna end up as a top like 6 running back, like kind of was projected. And it's like yeah, last year he could plod along and be very inefficient if he's out there 96% of the snaps and getting 25 touches a game. But now he's out there 75, 70%, not really cracking 80, and they're giving Jalen Warren some touches, and they like what they see out of him. And so it's really concerning to me because he's shown like he's not like this explosive, like he's going to break one to the house anytime he gets it. Really, he doesn't look like that, right? He's like a big guy that can run through you and stuff. And like, yes, you can feed him over and over. And as the course of the game goes along, like he'll break him down, but I don't know. It's someone that I really haven't been trying to acquire. And just like, I just didn't think this year was going to line up to be like another stud, like, top 12 receiver or running back kind of year for him. So, I mean, I think I would prefer the Etienne and Judy side, to be honest there.
Let's move on to the next one. What should I hope for when trading Tannehill and Jimmy G? What's the lowest you'd be willing to sell for? You're not going to get a first, so.
Is this like in a package together?
No, I think this is either or.
Okay. In a Superflex?
Superflex Dynasty. That's the only. That's the only reason we'd be being asked about.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have any value.
Yeah. So, would you
E.
take 1 second?
For both of those guys? I mean,
Either one. Either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Probably.
probably do that. Yeah.
That's
I'd
the
rather.
That's the
I'd
going rate.
rather give
I think
Tannehill for that second and keep Jimmy. Probably.
Do you prefer to keep Jimmy? Not.
I think
Tannehill?
so. Honestly,
really.
I'd rather keep Tannehill.
Wow, I'd much rather
keep
keep
Tannehill.
Tannehill. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. He doesn't look good anymore. Like he had one really good season, and I think it's just like, okay, AJ Brown basically propelled him to being like looking like he was almost a top 12, 15 quarterback that year. And now we're seeing like just what is going to really happen from him. And it's like, I don't know. Let me see what.
I mean, he has not been that bad this year.
I mean, okay.
But he hasn't been great. He really had 2 good seasons. He had all of 2019 that after he came in, and all of 2020 was also good. 2020 was good. Then 2021 was not so good. He was kind of the team was very lucky to finish 12-5, but he was not all that great.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. He was.
Ryan Tannehill's always been a quarterback that's thrown actually with a lot of accuracy.
I think a second for both these guys is perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's
Wait,
fair
for both of
value.
them together?
Oh,
No,
not together. I think
separately.
he means separately.
Each. Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, if you can get a second for each of them, I would do that.
Yeah, I do think that there's like the talk of Malik Willis coming in has kind of quieted down. I don't think there's any way that that's going to happen.
Yeah, that'd be tough to see.
I expect that next year they're going to go into the season with Ryan Tannehill as their starter and Malik Willis as their backup, and see how it goes.
Yeah, they're 3-2, so they're the top of their division right now. So
I'm more confident that Ryan
That's
Tannehill
stupid.
starts week 1, 2023 for someone than I am that Jimmy Garoppolo starts week 1, 2023 for someone. Although I do think they both do. I'm more confident that Ryan Tannehill
It's
does.
funny that there'd be 3 teams in the NFC East that'd be leading that Titans division right now.
And Ryan Tannehill has more fantasy upside than
Three.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, because of his rushing, Tannehill
He
can run
does
the ball.
still run, even though he's getting old.
Tannehill can run the ball. I think he's just a
Jimmy G's never been able to run the ball.
Jimmy G's never been able to run the ball.
No, Jimmy G cannot run the ball.
But I think all of
They
us
got-
would agree Jimmy G right now is in a better offense.
They both have 2 top 12 finishes this year so far. It's not like either of them
Was
blowing
there
them
another
out.
site that came up?
More weapons.
Huh?
No, nothing. I just see something from the comments. Another site came in. Not
Yeah.
Tinder Hot. or anything else.
Yeah.
That's
Or
how I
maybe
paid the salary.
They saw how much I was promoting Tinder-Hot that they were like, hey, let's.
They're like, oh, we need
Right.
him.
Yeah, we
Oh,
need him.
This one I'm not gonna even talk about. All right, yeah.
Yeah, don't talk about that one. That's not a good
Yeah.
one.
But they're pros. They're pros, guys.
They're pros. No. I love Tyler's face right now.
It's too
Josh,
early.
you
No,
guys
no,
are
I'm
dead.
the one of all of us. I'm the one who would encourage this behavior, like type of behavior, like talking about nonsense on the show. I'm the one who would encourage that. So since it's my show, I think it's fine.
It's allowed. I'm saying it.
All right. Okay.
Oh my god.
I have Lamar, Lawrence, Watson, Tannehill, Huntley. I was offered Bateman for Ryan Tannehill. Should I sacrifice my depth in a super flex? Yes, you should.
Yep.
Bateman.
Yeah, I would definitely take Bateman.
Much rather have Bateman over Tannehill, even in a super flex. I asked, okay, so here's a specific trade. Mixon, Michael Thomas, and Curtis Samuel for Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Mixon, Michael
That's
Thomas,
really
and Curtis Samuel.
Matters a little bit.
It's a lot of depth, but
It's interesting.
Yeah, I would personally.
I think you need running back depth to make a trade like
Hard.
this.
Yeah,
Right?
that's you better
It's
have a
hard
lot
to-
of running back depth.
Tyreek
And
Hill
you
is going to
take a guy
outscore
like
Mixon, but
I don't think
I mean, is
I
Michael
think
Thomas
I'd
ever going
want
to
to
come?
make this trade.
Is Michael Thomas ever going to come back?
Probably.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it's
he's already been
Olave
ruled out
number
for this
one.
week.
I would take the Tyreek Hill side.
It does.
The value
It's
lies
funny.
with
This is a
Tyreek Hill.
rare trade that I don't think it matters much if it's dynasty or redraft. It's kind of close either way.
Yeah.
It's just a question of like, is that enough to go down from Hill to Mixon? It's funny, actually. In Dynasty, I'm more confident that Hill has more good years left than Mixon. So in Dynasty,
too.
I definitely wouldn't do it. I'd definitely keep Hill. Or go for
Dynasty, I
Hill.
think Mixon and Hill will have like the same amount of years left. I think they each have like 1 to 2 more.
Oh
years
no,
left.
I don't think so.
I don't
Tyreek
think
Hill, I
Hill-
think has
I don't think
Mixon
Hill's
already
going
kind of
past-
looks washed up, whereas
I don't think
Tyreek
Hill's
Hill
going past
looks
30s.
just as good as he always did.
I don't think Hill's going into his 30s.
Oh yeah, I mean he is because he's
I
under
mean, it's
contract
much
to do
more
so.
likely.
No.
It's much
No, I
more
don't think he's
likely
going
that
to
a
go
wide
into his
receiver
30s.
goes into their 30s than a running back.
Yeah, but
gets
why?
into
But
their
Tyreek
30s.
Hill is not your normal wide receiver. He's a very different guy. Tyreek, when you look at wide receivers and their trajectory in their career, the first thing they always lose around 29, 30 years old is usually their speed. Tyreek Hill
Deshaun
without speed is
Jackson
not a wide
played
receiver.
in
Yeah,
his
we
30s.
they made the first person I think it was Deshaun Jackson, but I think
And
he's an
Tyreek Hill
outlier,
is
too.
better than
He's an
Deshaun
outlier,
Jackson
too.
ever was.
Deshaun
Even
lost
if
by a lot.
even if
outliers.
I
Well, let
mean,
me put it this
even
way:
if he's not
Tyreek
getting
Hill
all
is a
the-
better receiver than Deshaun Jackson ever was.
Yeah,
Yes.
He's better at the receiving part.
yeah.
and
Joe
Deshaun
Mixon,
Jackson at like
I
40
gotta tell you,
was still out
Joe
there.
Mixon looks washed up
Yeah.
to me.
He doesn't
I
look
think
very
I'm thinking
good, yeah.
Tyreek Hill in redraft and dynasty here.
Yeah, I'd prefer.
I mean,
Tyreek
Joe
Hill both.
Mixon is averaging 3.3 a carry. I know you can say it's not all his fault. He is getting a little bit more involved in the passing game than he has in previous years. 4 receptions a game and 24.8 yards a game is a career high.
And I like how
Like-
they actually been like splitting him out wide, and that's how he actually scored his touchdown this week.
Mhm.
So like that's kind of cool if they're gonna do that and
Yeah.
like involve him
It's
more.
great.
And obviously, like the efficiency hasn't been there, but like he has 75 carries inside the 5-yard line. Like he just hasn't hit on any of them, which
75.
obviously is a bad thing on one end, but it's like they're giving it all to him,
Yeah,
Aren't
this is
they
his
bound to
highest snap
come?
count
right?
of
Exactly.
his
So it's like,
career,
we're hoping
but he looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. It's the argument whether
And you know, with a running back, it's not like a receiver who sometimes like fades away slowly. With a running back, you hit it and you're done. Like done. You go from
That's-
good to done very fast.
that's
Yeah, it's
fair.
a very steep. cliff.
So
But it's again, it's just like they're giving him so much work still that even if he doesn't look any better, if he just gets lucky on a couple extra one of these goal line carries where, you know, he's just getting stuffed every time right now. I don't understand what is happening. I mean, obviously I'm sure the line has to do with some of it,
the
but
line
like
has been bad. Yeah.
yeah, and I do think they're getting like showing very slight improvements. I'll give it
The
that.
other thing is that they can get out of Mixon's contract after the year if they want to. I don't think they're going to, but I just
Is this Superman time? then?
Dynasty, I'm worried.
Would it be interesting to see if the Bengals took a running back in the draft and they got out of Mixon's contract at the end of the year?
Yeah. I do think that
That'd be
Mixon
interesting.
Mixon looks worn out. Like I think they
He
need
does.
to,
He looks a little like he does look a little slow.
it looks like he needs to be in a 60-40 time split. They just don't have anyone good. what if they drafted someone in the
Don't.
3rd round who's a better complement or better backup?
That'd be interesting.
I just think in Dynasty, I'm getting away from Mixon. In Dynasty, I'm more likely to take the Hillside. In redraft,
I think you need running back depth. Like we
you
kind of
need it so bad. You need
right?
running back depth so bad. It's tough.
So to be able to do this trade, I did say I would take Tyreek Hill, and in a bubble, I love trades. Trading makes fantasy fun. Do the trade, it makes it fun, but you need running back depth.
I love when you say trading makes fantasy fun.
It does. It does. It adds a little bit. It does. It does. You
Makes
know,
it
Yeah,
fun.
you
It
gotta-
does make it fun.
You gotta trade you gotta upgrade from your regular Tinder app to Tinder hot or whatever.
X, Y,
Yes.
Z.
XYZ.
Exactly.
It was
There
no
we go.
Tinder
All about
dash
that.
dot period X, Y, Z.
XYZ. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, breaking news. Hollywood, not as bad as initially thought. 6 weeks recovery time.
Wow. Hey.
Okay. 6 weeks.
That means you can take up a
It's
spot in my
small-
IR
It's
instead.
It's a small non-surgical fracture, it said.
Mm.
Oh, wait, whoa. Wait. Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh, I thought no. Listen to this. Listen to how
2023.
I thought I got for a second because the ending
Oh,
I thought was trying to get me. It goes, he's getting a second opinion from Dr. Robert Anderson before moving in, and I thought that said Robbie Anderson. I thought I was getting absolutely played.
Yes,
Yeah,
that'd be
no,
so
Robbie
good.
Anderson.
That'd be so good.
But this is
Dr.
a real
Robbie
Rappaport
Anderson.
tweet.
Dr. Robbie Anderson.
Like you're out for the
seems
year.
to
Yeah.
say that Hollywood
No,
Brown
but-
will be out for the year.
This is
Yeah.
So no, I guess he is actually seeing a Dr. Robert Anderson, but
It's-
it's looking just optimistic. So that
It's
I
funny,
guess that
Conan.
changes.
Kosh tweeted out
That
the same
changes
thing. I'm glad
things
that
a little
Dr.
bit
Robbie
because
Anderson
it
cleared
could
these
feel
things
better.
up.
Really?
Yeah,
Everyone.
I think this is really great. Well, so hold on. It looks like 6 weeks. I think this is really good if you got Rondell Moore, honestly. I think Rondell Moore could finally get a little more involved because Robbie Anderson's going to play on the outside. Because he's going to play on the outside
Yeah.
and he's going to keep Rondell
Not
Moore in the
good.
slot where he thrives. But Marquise Brown is at a target pace that Robbie Anderson's not going to be able to get. Robbie Anderson's not getting those targets. He's not going to get slot in those Marquise Brown targets. So where are those targets going to go? Rondell Moore could be a
But are
big
you sure
beneficiary here.
that when Hollywood comes back that they're going to play Rondell Moore over Robbie Anderson?
In the slot?
Yeah, Rondell and Marquise Brown and Rondell, I just don't think are the same wide receiver at all. They're completely different. I think Robbie's closer to
No.
Marquise Brown, right? So yeah.
I guess
I think,
it would be
Like
weird.
I was saying
No,
earlier,
when
like, I
Marquise
think
Brown comes
Rondell
comes back, I think Robbie Anderson's like on the bench. And DeAndre
That makes
Hopkins,
sense.
Marquise Brown, Rondell Moore will be 3 wide receivers. Zach Ertz will be the
Yeah.
tight end.
I think
agree.
Rondale's role in this offense is pretty secure. Like I'm not
Yes,
saying
he's the
it's
slot.
yeah, and it's not
What
saying
happened to
like,
Greg
it's gonna be
Dortch
that
season?
usable.
He is gone. He's on special. teams.
Rondell Moore
Rondell.
is their preferred Greg Dortch. You
Rondell
know?
Moore.
I know. I think Greg
Yeah.
Dortch was actually pretty good. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I do feel a little bit bad. He's been on special teams a lot lately. I've seen him doing a lot of kick punt returns. So
All
I
right,
think he's
let's
moving there.
let's.
But
Should I pick up Robbie to replace Hollywood? No. You're not gonna be able to use
yeah, no chance. No,
gonna be able to use
no,
Robbie Anderson.
Absolutely not.
We mentioned it earlier, but Rondell over Robbie for sure.
Yeah, but
right?
I'm not
Yes.
gonna really plan to start. either
Yeah,
of them.
Robbie on the rest of the
yeah.
season. Rondell over Robbie.
And I am 100% good starting DeAndre Hopkins next week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I am not.
Why not?
I'm not 100%
He's not hurt.
confident.
He's healthy.
He's
Marquise Brown's out of
I
there.
He's
was-
healthy and
I
he's been
would-
working out. It's not
Look,
coming off
you
an injury. Why
you
not start?
invested You may have invested in DeAndre Hopkins. You might be in a
You're
position
not gonna
you
have a
have
choice.
to. I would
Yeah.
do everything I can not to.
Oh, I don't agree. I think I'm gonna have him somewhere around wide receiver 20. So that's
No,
far
he'd
from
be-
avoiding starting him at any cost.
I don't do weekly rankings, but he'd be outside my top 24, maybe
Oh,
even at,
no,
like
he'll,
around
he'll
30.
be at
If New Orleans.
maybe he would have been there
New
with
Orleans,
Hollywood
yeah,
out, with
no.
Hollywood in, but with Hollywood out, he's gonna be in my top. He might even be higher than 20.
You still got Zach Ertz, Rondell Moore though, and Robbie Anderson though.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be able to. They're 2-4. This is it. This is it. I mean, this is it. They can't ease
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins in. They don't have time for that.
They
So
don't,
even though it's a
that's true.
Thursday night game against the Saints, I'm still gonna put DeAndre Hopkins out there.
I'm with you.
I'm not.
I don't-
He's
have a
probably
choice.
going to end up being a top 24 wide receiver for me this upcoming week.
They're just all
I would not bet on him.
receivers that
It's
are
just like
guaranteed.
him or
All
Deontay Johnson. You go Deontay Johnson, Hutch?
And keep in mind, all these teams that
who does
you
Steelers
have
play?
no Diggs,
Steelers play?
no
So
Gabe
Deontay
Davis, no
Johnson's playing
Jefferson, no
Miami.
Thielen.
They play Miami?
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson
I'm just like kind of giving you that kind of like borderline.
That's-
can't
That's
play
that's a
kind
Deontay
of
really
Johnson.
interesting conversation.
You
That's
know
a
what
really
I'm
interesting
saying?
conversation because when you think about it, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be needed. Like that's it. But the thing is, Thursday Night Football is always whack. Thursday Night Football is always crazy. Thursday Night Football is never what it's supposed to be.
Amazon. I mean, it's not just Amazon, but
And was it something about Call of Duty happened this week, right? Now Kyler's not going to know any of the plays.
I don't
Double
know.
XP weekend.
I don't know anything
Yes,
about
double
Call of
XP
Duty.
weekend. That's what it is. He ain't gonna know those plays.
I don't know anything.
He ain't
about
gonna know
that.
the playbook. No way.
Nah, I mean,
It's,
it's,
I don't play Call of Duty. I have no idea what's going on in that world.
I don't know anything about it.
I have no.
Um,
nothing.
Start DeAndre
I know
Hopkins
that-
over
I
Amari
know-
Cooper, though,
I
right?
know my
You
little
like
brother plays it and that he shoots a lot of people in it. That's what I know about Call of Duty.
I mean, I think it's an interesting argument, like some of those names you brought up, but I also
Yeah.
think it's going understated. Like we're missing probably at least 4 or 5 wide receivers that are regularly ranked in the top
That's true.
24
Yeah, we're
because
missing a lot
of
of guys.
buys, injuries.
Who's on bye this
Hollywood-
week?
It's the
7?
Bills,
Yeah,
so
Eagles,
Diggs,
the Bills.
Gabe Davis, AJ Brown, Justin
Devontae Smith.
Jefferson, Devontae Smith,
He's been top 4.
Hollywood now out
Mhm.
with injury, obviously injury as well. That's 6.
Yeah, he's gonna be up
Thielen
there.
even has been
He's gonna be up
solid. Like that's 6, 7, 8 guys that are usually in your
Yeah,
top
you're not going to be able to
30
get
wide
away from
receivers.
DeAndre Hopkins.
There is, I understand like
Yeah.
the hesitancy, like he's coming back from whatever. Like I get it, but like Tyler said, they're 2 and 4. Whatever the hell they're doing right now is not working. Like let's try seeing if
Hey.
2 years ago what kind of worked, feeding the crap out of DeAndre. You lost
Chris-
Hollywood. You can do that
Maybe-
now. Like let's
Maybe
try
I should
it.
fuck around. Maybe I should
Wait,
fuck
wait,
around
Top
and
10?
rank him top 12 just cause.
Ooh,
What about?
Because
Ooh.
Why not?
Oh, good lord.
Why not?
I'm trying to find some names here that would be. I'm trying to.
I
Find
almost
some,
wanted
What
to
about Chris
pull a Russell
Godwin?
Wilson and be like, let's ride.
Chris Godwin. Or
Chris Godwin was really good. Chris Godwin's must start no matter what.
Chris Godwin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Drake London.
I'd
No,
start
not
Hopkins.
Drake London.
I'm going
Yeah,
DeAndre
Hopkins.
Hopkins.
I'm starting.
Chris
Hopkins.
Godwin's playing
I
against
didn't put Hopkins there.
Chris
I think
Godwin's
Who are
going to
they
be in my top
playing?
12 for sure
Who
against
are-
Carolina.
Who is Atlanta playing next week?
They play Cincinnati.
Yeah, I want Hopkins probably.
I want
I'll
Hopkins
play
there
Hopkins
as
over
well.
London for sure.
Would you play Tyler Lockett?
Oh, who are they playing?
They
That's
are
a good
playing the
question.
Chargers.
I'll play Hopkins.
Ooh.
That's a close one, but I think I lean
That's
Hopkins.
tough.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
tough. That's very tough.
Yeah, no, Hopkins is going to be in my lineup next week.
Let's
Yep.
see. I mean, we already talked Deontay.
I don't have him in many spots, but I do think everything we're saying it's going to be hard to keep him out of your lineup.
I just don't
regardless.
think that many people
with all the buys,
anticipated-
it might be difficult. I'm going. Here's the thing. I'm going to try not to start him in my
You're
lineup. if I
cautiously
have him.
optimistic.
I'm
think
going to
that-
try not to
I think
start
that we
him.
have an anchoring bias about this in that we expected that we would be talking about DeAndre Hopkins coming back and how he fits in with Hollywood Brown and who's the number one. And that's the conversation we've been expecting for 6 weeks. We've been thinking that's going to be the conversation. That's going to be the conversation.
But it's not the conversation.
But that's not the conversation. That's not what's happening. That's not the reality. The reality is
Yeah.
that he's coming back in as the clear number one target by a mile. So
Yep.
he's top 20 easily. Even a bad matchup, even on Thursday night.
I just don't. When it comes to fantasy,
this were a good
football,
matchup, he'd be
I
top
always
12.
try not to bet on a player coming back from an injury, coming back.
But
from
he's
a
not coming back from
suspension,
an injury.
or or suspension or anything like that.
I
Missed
don't worry
time,
about it.
coming back the first week. I try not to bet on it.
I don't
So
worry about
I-
a suspension.
So
An
I'm
injury,
saying
yes, but a suspension, no.
there will probably be leagues where I put him in my lineup. I didn't draft him very much this year. Honestly, it was kind of out.
I don't think I drafted him or told people to draft him at
but-
all. I don't like
Yeah,
locking
I
up
was.
a roster
I was kind of
spot for
out.
6
Honestly,
weeks.
I didn't really get Hopkins.
It,
but-
it would be more people in Dynasty. In Dynasty, I told people
Yes,
to hold him.
Dynasty. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would. I'm gonna try not
Oh,
to start him, but I think you might
good
be forced
conversation,
in
actually.
leagues with all the injuries and all the buys
In-
this week. It's gonna
In
be tough.
Dynasty, if you have DeAndre Hopkins, now's your time to move him if you don't want him.
This is a
Because
great.
this is
year.
the best
a
case scenario.
perfect
He's
time.
about to come back, and Hollywood Brown is gone for 6 weeks. This is your opportunity to move DeAndre
Yeah, this
Hopkins.
is the perfect time. This is
This
why
is the
you
most
drafted
he'll ever
DeAndre
be
Hopkins.
worth, more than likely.
This is why you drafted
Right now.
DeAndre Hopkins. You drafted him so that you could trade him. When
Well,
6 weeks.
I think most people who have DeAndre Hopkins
That's
in
why I
Dynasty
drafted
did
him.
not draft
If-
him. this year.
Oh, and in Dynasty. Yeah, in Dynasty. Yeah, I was saying in redraft, but
Yeah.
Traded
Damian Pierce for Walker and ETN. Big W.
Absolute smash dub.
that is a W.
I'd rather have
That is
Walker
a
over
big
Pierce.
W.
Let alone
yeah,
What?
straight up.
ETN.
Ooh.
In
That's
redraft?
difficult.
In
Yeah.
redraft?
No, it
yeah.
isn't.
In
It's not
redraft?
difficult at all.
Better off.
It's
Oh,
not difficult at all. I'd rather have Walker by a
Wow,
lot.
That's interesting because
I mean, it's a slightly less work for probably a
think
better
Pierce
offense.
Pierce got the 6
So-
targets though. Pierce got those targets the last couple weeks.
Look, only two
Walker-
other running
Walker only
backs.
got 3.
DJ Dallas had 2 carries.
Yeah, Walker's the guy, but
Yeah.
Damian Pierce, we've seen a game where he's gotten 6 targets. I don't think we'll ever see that from Walker this year.
I
Never.
want Walker.
I think I want Pierce very slightly. It is so close because I love Kenneth Walker. I love him. But Pierce has just looked so good.
Walker's
He's
just
gotten
looked too
receiving
good.
work. What?
Walker's looked too good.
Walker's looks great. But Pierce has also looked
That's fair.
unbelievable.
He has. I
But
mean,
yeah, I would absolutely take the Walker ETN side, but straight up there, it's
that's
I
a
think I want
no-brainer.
Pierce. They're very tough. That's very, very tough. Because those are like 2 rookies, look like they'd be league winners this year, rest of the season. That's a very difficult decision.
Yeah. Wow. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Atlanta gonna Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta.
All right,
got
let's
Atlanta.
let's talk about this, Josh. Is
No.
JK
I want to talk about it.
Unfortunately, we must. Is Dobbins dead? I know the coach said the knee is swollen, but the exact same thing happened. Get back here. Week 5.
Back it,
You
Josh.
can't dodge. You can't dodge the question about the Ravens.
I'm honestly, I hate it. I've never been a J.K. Dobbins guy. I've always hated him for
Shut up!
fantasy. So sorry. Sorry.
I just have to ask. I really
That's
do have to
funny.
ask. Where was this?
Oh,
Where was this, Josh?
He's got the
Where was this,
jersey.
Josh? All of these years.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins is toast, guys.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He really.
No,
is in trouble.
I'm nervous. I'm a huge J.K. Dobbins fan. I wouldn't in redraft teams. I'm trying very hard not to cut him. I wouldn't be cutting him. I think there's a very good chance towards the end of the season he could get healthy. The knee's looking good. The offense is running a little bit better now. I'm trying not to cut him, but it doesn't look great, guys.
It's so close. He's on the. I didn't draft him in a single redraft league this year, so I'm lucky that I don't have to make that choice. But if I'm in like a home league, like 12-team league, 12-team league, it's like I mean, look at hold on, who are the top like waiver wire pickups this week? Who's like trending on sleeper? Right now-
it's the guy on the Ravens.
The top,
Kenyon
yeah.
Drake.
Right now,
Kenyon
the
Drake.
top trending players, Kenyon Drake. Would you pick him up and drop J.K. Dobbins?
No.
No.
So I mean, I think I'm like a little bit hesitant to drop him because I just
Wandale
like,
Robinson.
ooh, that's interesting.
That's a very interesting debate.
J.K. Dobbins is brutal, though.
I
But
know.
this is the thing, like I do
That's a tough
think
debate.
that I was like prepared for this, where I saw like a lot of reports and a lot of
Alec
articles that I read
Pierce.
about him said that he's just not gonna be like his full strength, full like 100% workload,
he's
like
not.
until probably week 8, week 10, like, and so that's
but
why
we're going
I didn't
backwards.
draft him. Yeah, no, I get it, but it's like. But that's the thing is like if they're saying week 10 he's going to be full strength and I know he was trying to say he's coming back week 1 full strength. Clearly that wasn't true.
No,
But
it's not.
if these other experts are saying like it's probably going to take him 3/4 of the year to come back full strength, it's like I would rather like I'm going to hold out for hope because even though we've only seen it in one little stretch, he was awesome in that 6-game stretch in 2019 or 2020 or whatever, right? So like
Yep.
It's someone that
He
he's
was awesome at
explosive
scoring
enough on a
touchdowns.
good enough team where if I can hold him, I really would rather hold him if he can help me. You know, who knows? Maybe he's
Yeah.
going to win you the playoffs. Like, obviously, that's high hopes, but
Yeah.
it's a possibility that
I have a
doesn't
couple
really
more-
exist
I have a
with
couple more
somebody. Kenyon Drake is not
mentioned it.
winning me my playoffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hold on. But what's your official answer on Rondell Robinson? I didn't really get an answer. Rondell Robinson. Would you rather have him rest the season or J.K. Dobbins?
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah,
It's
still
the running backs
Well,
at that
okay.
point.
What
a wide
about-
receiver is not
what about
JK
Pierce?
or no, the
Alex
receivers
Pierce?
are too
too
replaceable.
low.
I think.
That's too low.
Okay.
I think
Alec
they're too
Pierce
replaceable.
is like in that range where there's in
Mhm.
redraft there's like 10 of those.
There's no good running backs off the waiver wire this week. Like, there's
I
none.
think a better question in redraft. There's nothing you can do. How are we helping you? Like, you are not going to cut him. You're probably not going to start him next week, and you just have to wait. That's what
You
you
just
do.
have to wait it
I
out.
think the
Yeah,
more
right.
interesting conversation
That's
is
the
what you
advice.
do with J.K. Dobbins in Dynasty. But if you listen to me, you wouldn't
Yeah.
have any because I've been begging you
You would
Not
have
to
sold him
draft
high
him.
over the offseason.
not to
not
draft
to draft
him. Yeah.
him, to stay away from his. I mean, I said it. I said if he delivers on his promise and plays week 1, I'll admit it. I was wrong. Good for him. I was wrong. And then he didn't deliver. He didn't appear
Nope,
for week
didn't
1.
play.
He wasn't there. And then it took a long time. And now we're in week 6 and he still is now not healthy. So he should have been healthy a long time ago. And I don't know why he's not ready, but now there's a delay and then there's a setback. And I don't like to have a delay and a setback. That doesn't sound so good. So he's someone I never wanted. I mean, not never, but never since the injury in the first place. And how bad it sounded it was going over the offseason. And I don't want any part of him now.
Oh no.
So yeah,
No.
I'd get rid of him.
I don't want anything to do with J.K. Dobbins.
yeah,
I want nothing to do with him.
I'd rather have Josh Jacobs in Dynasty over J.K. Dobbins.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. But I'd rather have Ramondre Stevenson for sure.
Ooh, that one's a tougher debate, but I think I'd go yes. Yeah. I think
Will
I'd agree
J.K.
with
Dobbins ever see an 80% snap share of anything?
No.
Ever?
Never.
What
Never.
not with Gus coming back too.
Stop
No,
it,
I
Josh.
don't
He's
think-
not going to.
Right.
He's not
I
going
don't
to.
say that.
Ramon-
Not many running backs do, but you're asking me to compare him to a running back who just did.
Yeah, no,
You're
I
asking me to
get the
compare.
argument.
I'm comparing him to a running back who just did, who's the same age. So why wouldn't I prefer the running back who's shown an ability to actually see a workhorse role over one who will never, ever, ever have that?
If Ramondre Stevenson was on the Ravens, he wouldn't have it either. I'm
Well,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
more
just-
likely to have it because his knee could actually hold up to it.
No. I understand your point. Point taken. You Jake, and just the fact that he's in that position where he's on the Ravens, he's never going to get that hurts him, right?
Yeah, but he looked terrible again. I mean, like this year has not been so good. I mean, 35
No.
carries for 123 yards, and he's
He
really
had that
looked
one
bad.
big game, and it was just because of the touchdown.
And he's
So-
looked terrible
yeah.
in this season, and he's had 6 receptions in 4 games. That's not going to cut it. 6 receptions in 4 games is no good. Like, he's averaging 8.8 carries a game, and he has 6 receptions over 4 games, and he's been ineffective on his carries. He's only scored 2 touchdowns this season in 4 games. I mean, that's just okay. What's happened? What exactly has happened that's been good? And 4 of those 6 catches happened in 1 game. The last 2 weeks, he's had 0 targets.
What happens that's been good? All you have to do is look at the Buffalo game, and that's good, right? It's not great. It's good. It's good.
He had 13
Definitely
carries
good.
for 41 yards in that game.
It's good. 2 touchdowns, 4 catches. That's a good game.
Touchdowns are random. He was ineffective on his 13 carries in that game.
He
and
had
turned 4
few goal
receptions
line
into
carries.
a measly 22 yards. I mean, is that supposed to impress me? That doesn't impress me at all. He's been terrible.
Well, if he
He's
had
been
more
terrible and
room to
ineffective
run
in
on that
all
touchdown
of his games.
catch, he would have had more yards.
Hey, I have a trivia question for you guys. What running back leads the Ravens in backfield targets?
Mike
Running
Davis.
back? Justice Hill.
I would guess
I like
Justice Hill as
Davis.
well.
All right, so you all were wrong. It's J.K. Dobbins and Pat Ricard tied at 6.
Oh yeah, Pat Ricard. I know that makes a lot of sense.
Oh.
Actually.
6 is the leader.
That's
correct.
Leader in
That's
the
where we
clubhouse.
are.
Yes.
That's how bad it is.
Bottom, it's tied with the Bears for the least amount of team RB targets.
Yeah, that's where the
second
Ravens
worst.
are. They don't target their running backs. Like they just don't do it. The last few years, it's just been that way. They never do
I
it.
have
And
this
they
on
never
my
will.
show sheet, but this is a one-weapon offense.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I do
Lamar's
think
Lamar
Bateman
himself.
being out, I think, does make them even more of a we can only move our offense through this one guy, and that's it. Like,
I think
whereas
But
if
it's
you have
not
Bateman,
like-
you can at least keep the defense honest. He can.
It's not like Bateman was
I
that
got
great when
lost.
he was in either.
No, it doesn't. No,
No,
Bateman wasn't
but
good.
it's simply a threat,
Okay.
right?
Not
I think
fancy.
even
Yeah,
a
Bateman-
threat.
Not
Right.
fancy.
The
good. He's better than
offense
it
has
was.
looked significantly worse
Yeah.
without Bateman.
That's
The offense has
Yeah,
taken a
because
big
who-
step
because
back
there's-
without him.
Because you're threatened by Rashad Bateman because he could take the top off the
Yes.
defense and he can make a catch.
It's been a threat.
Devin Duvernay, well, he can
Devin
make an
Duvernay
impact.
is not really a threat.
He's not that great. You just don't have to worry about the wide receivers from Bateman.
He likes us.
For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really get that one. But
Thank you, Lefty.
I get why you would like me, but you know.
Yeah, I know. Everyone else. Ooh.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, look at
I'm
my
by
haircut.
far.
Come on, now how
I'm,
can you like that?
I'm by far the least likable of the five of us. Everyone else is so nice.
I'm looking at
Although
Hutch over there,
I have noticed over the last couple of weeks that
Doesn't
there's
matter.
this side to Josh.
I'm not.
There's this side to Josh that I was not aware of.
Just stop it. Stop it, Tyler. Just stop it.
Yeah,
Stop
no,
it.
when did you
Stop
become so
it.
feisty?
I can be feisty when I want. If I feel comfortable with you, I'm gonna tell you how it is. So
Yeah. No, but I love it. I love it. I didn't know. I didn't know you could. You had
it's
that
in
you.
there.
No.
It's in there. It's in there.
I love it though. I love it. Like,
all right, cool. I'll keep
hey,
it.
I mean, the people should know. Like, when I heard that you were kind of looking for potential YouTube things, like, I messaged you like immediately.
You did, and
I was like,
felt-
is there
it felt
is there any way?
Yeah.
I was like, please,
appreciate
please, I need
it. Well,
I need
now
more
I'm on here
co-hosts.
with
I'm,
you,
I'm
and it
running
feels
out of
great.
gas every week.
It feels great.
But
Let's see
yeah,
the
so
deal.
give Hall, and this better be good if we're giving Hall in 223 first.
Yeah, I know.
That's
know.
I just got to that portion.
Oh,
It's like,
I've
that
gotten
better
to the
be
rest
good
of
on
it
the
now.
other side.
I've gotten to
Justin
the rest
Herbert,
of it.
Drake
It's
London,
starting to
and-
make
And
sense.
an early second, and
It's
received
starting to make
Herbert,
sense.
London, and a late second. That's too much.
Yeah.
Even for Justin
No,
Herbert, that's too much.
I like the deal. I would do that.
You'd
think.
take Herbert?
I think I would take Herbert here.
I would
can't-
not.
I
I would
can't do
take
it.
the first.
don't
I
know.
can't do it. That
Hall
like,
is no.
like
Hall is so. Hall is like
He-
arguably
Her-
RB1 in
Herbert-
Dynasty.
Yeah, but Herbert's a tier above still. I would put him in a tier above Hall in Dynasty in a super flex. league.
maybe
Sure,
a
yeah,
tier,
but 223
a
first.
tier, but I'm not paying. London to me is like those first look like they're a little early on the earlier side.
It looks like
London is
3-6.
maybe
Guessing.
worth the six one that's going to be the six, maybe worth that on his own.
I think he's
maybe.
worth more than a 6. I think he could be worth the 5th.
There you go. Nice. Great.
But there's a
Uh-huh.
whole other
Great to hear.
first in
Thank you
there.
for that helpful information, John.
I'll take
Yeah,
the
I know,
Hall.
but like I again, Herbert's in my opinion a
Oh,
tier
I don't
above
think this.
Hall.
But I'm with you, Josh. Josh, I don't think this is an awful trade either. Like, I'm not.
It's
sitting
not
here
awful,
saying
but I would
that
take
the
the Hall
Hall
side.
side is so much better. But the thing is, when you have 223 first and both of them
If you
looking
put
like
names to it, and
Yeah,
you said
because
you
look,
could
like,
take
if it's,
Hall and
like-
CJ Stroud,
you're looking at pick 3 and pick 6, right? Both those teams are like
I think
kind of middle lower teams. They're not good teams. Both those teams could end up in the bottom 3.
like,
You're
if
probably
you
not
had
getting second
in the
Hall
season.
and a top quarterback,
Yeah, if you get a top running back, a top
You might not
quarterback,
get you might,
and Brees Hall,
Yeah.
like
Brees
there's
Hall. Brees Hall is a good thing. I mean, this is the dynasty for me. The dynasty RB1.
Brees
and
Brees
then
Hall is the dynasty
additional
RB1.
firsts
There's
are
no other
coming with-
dynasty running back I'd rather
Like, I
have than
just,
Brees Hall.
to be honest with you, I guess my answer to this is very simple. More simply, let's say for me, and I think this is even being generous, but let's say that the first that we're counting as the 6 and the early second are equal to London in the late second. I don't agree with that. I would prefer that over London in the late second. But let's say they're equal. There is no player in Dynasty to me that is worth Hall and what I consider to be currently the 103. There is no player that's worth that. Not even Josh Allen. Not worth that. I
Really?
would rather have Hall and the projected 103 over any single player. So if that makes it easier to
Wow.
understand, and that's being generous with given that I actually prefer the other stuff in the deal on the Hall side in this case.
Where's
So-
London rank among your wide receivers for Dynasty, Tyler? If you don't mind me asking?
He has lost a little bit of value to me over the past couple of weeks.
Mhm.
I have him at Dynasty wide
This
receiver.
offense just doesn't move. This offense just doesn't move enough.
Yeah,
to
I have
move
him
up
at
the ground.
14. I'm at 14. I'm a little bit concerned that the target share, while the target share is there, I am someone who likes to see some raw volume to come with the target share. So he's
It
getting
doesn't
the target
matter if he's
share,
getting
but
a
he's not-
25+% target share. If it
because
ends up
it's
being
not. It's
4
25% of not so much, and it's not actually
It'd be-
translating into points.
It'd be awesome
It's
if
the
he
Darnell
wasn't
Mooney argument.
snapped by Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah,
too.
there
would
are
be
just
really
some
awesome.
warning signs
Yeah.
with Drake London that maybe he's not a lock to be a wide receiver 1. But
In the
I will
future.
say,
Yeah,
and I say this all the time, that players who are drafted in the first round, who come in and have success early, almost always succeed. Those players almost never fail.
those
almost never.
players, those
But
players
what
dominate.
is
yeah.
a success? A success could be that he has a solid career and ends up being DJ Moore. That would be a success. But that's not a top 10 dynasty wide receiver if you actually knew what you were getting. He wouldn't be that. It's the next tier down. So that's why I'm at 14, just because it's not a guarantee. All right, Hutch, you want to say something?
Yeah, guys, unfortunately, I gotta jump out, but it was awesome talking to you guys. I hope I'll be back next week. I would love to
Next
be back
week.
I'd love
Next
to.
week.
Hopefully. What is
See
this
you next week,
hopefully?
bro.
You're gonna be back next week.
Yeah, you have to be back next week.
I'll do
We
my
need
best, guys. I'll do my best.
J.K.
See ya.
Dobbins.
Oh my god. All right. Let's keep it rolling. I think I'm good on do you guys have I'll keep trying to roll us through the chat, but again, like last chance to kind of think of any like specific topics we haven't covered. Because I think I'm good on topics on my end. I don't think there's anything on the
I
sheet.
remember when you asked us that, and I forgot to look into it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
yeah.
suggest maybe next week we come in with those.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
have some ready to go.
Let's
and
have
then we
some
can,
ready,
you know,
like have some
push things
topics.
out.
I'll still do the main show sheet. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I do a main show sheet where I kind of have little notes from every game. But we're not going to do what we did in previous weeks where we actually talk about all of that. It's more just for me to like kind of have touch points when we talk about things.
I think there's something we haven't talked about that I think you mentioned we were going to talk about earlier in the show, and it's the quarterback situation with the Patriots.
Yes, while Conan is
Yeah.
still here,
Yeah.
we should probably discuss that. So go for it,
I mean,
Patriots person.
can't you love what you see out of Zappy right now? Like, I don't know how you can look at what he's been doing and be like, yeah, we need to rush Mac back or anything like that. He's zapped him back to life, 2 wins in a row. He's playing, turnover free football. I know he threw a pick, but that was more than 100% Aguilar's fault. So I'm basically wiping that out of my books. And I don't believe that there's legitimately going to be a controversy that
I do.
Bailey Zappi. Oh, you really do?
Oh, I do.
So this is my gut tells me like I legitimately want it to be like at that point where he looks good. But it's just for me, I just don't envision that they're actually going to be like, okay, Zappy, you've done enough so far that we're going to keep riding it. And maybe they go, okay, we're gonna ride the hot hand right now, and they keep him in. Not saying, okay, he's our starter for the rest of the year or anything like that. Just like, okay, we're gonna ride the hot hand right now. Fine, like that might be a possibility. But I do think in that case, it's gonna be a very short leash for Zappy. And as well as he's played and as good as I think he's looked, I do think at that point, it's like they're basically wanting to see something to get Mac back out there. They just couldn't do it with how well he kind of was playing.
I think it's the other way around. I actually think it's the other way around. I think
Really?
when Mac Jones is the exact opposite of what you said. Yeah. I think when Mac Jones is healthy, about the short leash, when Mac Jones is healthy, they're going to go back to him. If he sucks again, they will not hesitate to make a quarterback change and go to Zappy and make it Zappy. That's actually
I don't
what
think he's necessarily sucked for.
he has been good.
This
has not been
year,
good.
the first few
No, we're
weeks this
talking
year-
about this year. Last year was last year. Now we're on
Okay.
this year. But like
Yeah.
this year he has sucked.
I totally understand that logic too, because if he
He's
does
thrown
come
5
back
picks.
in, then yeah.
in
But-
3 games. That's no good.
But I think the team wants to believe and does believe in Mac. Like he's the guy
Sure.
they drafted in the first round and they want to work out. And so I mean, I think that's super interesting, but I totally understand like both ways of regardless of who is in there this week or in the coming weeks, it's going to be a short leash and they're going to be looking to kind of get the other guy in. I think that kind of plays for both parts. Like I said, like I think okay, they might ride the hot hand, but they do want to get Mac in there. And you're saying they're going to get Mac in there, but they want an excuse to get Bailey back in there. And like,
Well,
I think
don't
that's
they want an
actually,
excuse. I think they want
But-
Mac to come in and play well, but if it doesn't happen, then
yeah, but it's so, yeah, no. So I do think it's interesting, but so my thoughts still are, I don't think that there's any real controversy. Like, I think the most they possibly are going to do is be like, for right now, we are going to ride the hot hand and play Zappy. Zappy will start this week. Like that might be what they do, but like I still think they're getting Mac back, and that's like their goal. Like,
I do think they're not going to rush.
that's
Mac back. I think he's
which
not
is-
coming. I don't think Mac is coming
Yeah.
back until he's 100% healthy.
which is also in itself interesting because if you remember what some of the reports were when he first got injured, there seemed to be some type, I don't know how true, but there seemed to be some type of disconnect where he wanted to take the time that he felt was necessary and the team kind of wanted him to get back sooner rather than later. At least that's what I kind of saw and that's what I heard. And so now it's like it's become a lot more interesting where it's actually like it doesn't really seem like we need him back sooner rather than later. Like, look how well our team's been doing.
I think Bailey Zappi is going to play this week against the Bears. Then I think we'll see. The next is the Jets, the Colts, then a bye. So I think if Zappi keeps winning, he'll keep playing. If he loses any game, then I think that they will consider Mac Jones for the next game.
Here's my bold prediction then. If Mac is active, will be that Zappy starts but is benched halfway. That'll be my bold prediction then for the game.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think that if Mac is active, he's going to start.
I was about to say that. I think if Mac is active,
Well, that's
it's not
where
even
the
bold. I was going to say my
hot
very
hand
unbold prediction is Mac will be active and he'll start. I side more. I'm not. I think Mac is the guy. I think Mac's the guy. That's all I'll say. I don't think
I
there's
just
really
think-
a controversy.
I think the
Now, if
interesting
there's
thing.
a team that does have it, it would be the Patriots, right?
I think it's interesting if they win the next 3 games and then they go into the bye 6-3. Do they put Mac and Mac is fully healthy for the game on November 20th against the Jets after the
fair.
bye? Do they put in Mac Jones or a Bailey Zappi who's just won 5 games in a row? A fully healthy Mac Jones, or do they go to Bailey Zappi at that point? But we're not there. That's a hypothetical on hypotheticals.
But I mean, I don't think it's complete. Like, I do agree that if Mac is out there, he probably is going to be starting. But like, I don't think it's completely out of the question with what we've seen some of these other teams do, where our main guy's healthy, but like he's going to be our backup today. Where like that was a legitimate possibility we thought might happen for Jameis and Dak even, and then obviously we
Dak
just saw it
is
happen
great.
with Teddy and Skyler. Like Teddy's fine, but he's our backup today. And like, he came in and is clearly the better quarterback. Like, and so, I mean, I think it is really tough because it's like both sides of me. It's like, I think Mac is the guy, but I do think the team would be silly to rush Mac back and not stick with Zappy if he's doing really well and they keep winning. So it's pulling both ways, but in the end, I do think it's Mac. It's Mac's job. It's tough. It's Bailey right now. It's Bailey's job to actually somehow win. Like we said, 5-6 wins in a row. Like, I do think at that point you can't go back. You can't go back to Mac. But it's if it is, if Mac does come back sooner rather than later, then it's
think
kind of
this-
his job is his job to almost lose.
This show has made me realize the important questions in life. How does Scott Hansen get through a 7-hour broadcast of NFL Red Zone without having to go pay?
We've heard it. I heard him talk about it not that long ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I just do it." You know?
Does he have a bottle under the table?
No, I think he says he doesn't. Well, there was that one infamous last year or whatever, but I think he's actually said he like specifically doesn't drink like fluid like leading up to it or something, like, which is like, I mean, that's some real dedication to the craft, and only a man like Scott Hansen can do something like that, and we obviously appreciate round of applause for that legend.
He's really crushing it. Let's address some of these more. So, chat question. Traded Monty 24 first and 23 second for Deshaun Watson, Jamal Williams, Cam Akers in a third this week. 12-team Superflex. That's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, in a
even
Superflex,
I like. We know I hate Deshaun Watson, but that's Deshaun Watson.
But the value,
the value is on
there. Is there, yeah,
for sure. It's not even close. Traded Ertz and Ramondre, okay, for Amon-Ra, Gerald Everett, and Dobbs. I already have Kittle, who won. Amon-Ra.
Yeah, Amon-Ra.
This has to be redraft. In Dynasty, this makes no sense.
I'll take it as a redraft, but I mean, I'll
still take Amon-Ra because I do think Damian Harris is going to come back and is going to cut into Ramondre, even if it's not. Ramondre remains the starter.
Yeah, and he's gone. He's likely gone after the year.
Well, it's redraft.
They'll draft someone to replace him, though.
Yeah, I mean, they already have 3 other guys that they've drafted in the last 2 years.
I do think they're going to replace
top 5 tight end this year. You think with like everything? I think so.
Who?
What was that? Sorry.
You think Ertz?
Yes,
stays?
but
like,
I'm not sure that Ertz is that much. Ertz is leaps and bounds better than Everett. I mean, he's better.
He's better, yeah.
But Everett is not that different.
It's a close trade.
Everett's been pretty good.
He already has Kittle. Yeah. I'll take Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
Give Kamara for 23 first and Gibson. I'll take Gibson. Doesn't matter. I'll take the 23 first. I can get any first for Kamara. I'm taking a run.
Team is contending, but probably more so.
It's a good time.
Be honest with yourself, Jamal.
Be honest with yourself. Yeah, it's a good time to get out from Kamara then. Good move.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
Decided to kickstart a mini rebuild and turn Devontae Adams, Zeke, Pollard, and Kareem Hunt into 2 23 first, projected early 23 second, Rashad White and Rashad Penny. Thoughts? Okay.
I thought it was just the 2023 first at first. And I was like,
it's
okay.
So, I mean,
but I guess
this
Pollard,
is easily the 23 first.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
23
that's
first
a good
are worth
amount
the whole other side.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Even if I'm generous,
in a rebuild, yes, it's
even if I'm generous and say that Devontae Adams and Hunt are worth the 223 first, and I think that's generous. I think the 23 first are worth more. I'd still rather have the 23 second White over Zeke and Pollard, let alone with Penny. So even being generous, it's easily the pick side.
Agreed.
I'm gonna put my roster for context. I think we answered this question already. Rosters usually don't matter. Usually on this show, it's hard to dive deep into context. So we're usually just answering based on value or contender rebuild kind of stuff. Would you sell Jacoby Myers for a 23 second in Dynasty? That's actually a good question. That seems like a pretty fair value to me. No?
It's fair.
But I have Jacoby Myers at Dynasty wide receiver 49, and that feels low. But...
Would like contending versus rebuilding kind of factor into this?
No, because Jacoby Myers is not good enough to trust.
I mean, I'm trusting him in like 3 wide receiver leagues, especially with some buys coming up.
Rough, though. I mean, he had 4 for 60, but it's not the 4 for 60 that scared me. It's how much targets were distributed. He was not the target. He had 4 out of 31.
Yeah. I mean, I think
so I'm a little scared.
I think this was it was a favorable game script. I do think in like games where, they actually might have to like compete more, like he'll be more involved. I just think he's clearly their like first
But there were 34
option.
pass attempts in this game. I mean, that's a lot. I don't I don't know if you're expecting
That's
more.
Is that much?
That's a good amount. I think a lot of it was because Damian Harris is out. I think
Well, the
if
Ravens have had all year.
when Damian Harris is back, I think that they would dial down the passing attempts and give more rushing attempts.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think it comes down to it is fair. I think I wouldn't be mad.
I think I would take.
probably
To be
want
honest,
the second.
I think if you go to a super flex and you put the quarterbacks in and pushes some talent down the board, I think I would take the pick. If you're in a 1 QB, this is less appealing.
Yeah,
I think that's the market for Jacoby Myers.
That's probably the market value.
I wouldn't sell. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't be selling.
I would say if you put it in a trade calc, would prefer the second in a super flex, but Myers in a 1 QB, just based on how those work. If that helps you. I have not touched a trade calc in a long time. Actually, I haven't touched one, like used one, even the DLF one. I haven't touched it in like probably a month and a half. I just don't use them. I actually think trade calcs have become worse and worse over time.
I mean, I agree in terms of like you shouldn't. There are people that hold them to be like literally the say all, and like if it doesn't agree with that, then you're not doing the trade. You're not considering it or something like that.
Really bad.
But I've met people that literally are like, "Are you kidding me? What a bad trade! Do you see look at what this trade calc says?" And I'm like,
"You need to add another second."
So then I do think the use for it is literally in that sense where it's like making sure that the trade calc at least isn't saying like one side's crazy one side, even if you genuinely think you're giving like a very fair offer, to make sure like that person's not going to go check some trade calc and it be way skewed in one way, because that can happen where we have our ranks, like you have your own very individual ranks that get updated each week, and it's like something that could be right up your alley in terms of a good trade, fair, but then you plug it into there and it's like, oh, they're losing by a ton or something. And it's like, so I like to use them just in that sense. But I mean, I agree. I don't really think they're that useful. There's been these occurrences where someone just keeps spitting back my trades in the trade calc because it's like slightly uneven. So then I just shoot back like a very uneven, technically in our minds, in most experts' consensus, like very uneven, but the trade calculator tells us it's even because it's like a 6-2 trade or something. So it's like you can work it into your favor, and you can definitely argue those points, because if you ever do get someone, you keep sending them trades, they keep spitting back out that they're not getting the good end of the trade in trade calc, you find some ridiculous trade that's like a 5-2, and you say, hey, take this one then, if that's all you care about, the trade value on this app.
Yeah. There are a lot of people like that,
I mean, I've dealt with it.
Bring back the Dortch. It's not going to happen. Clearly, they don't want to do that because they traded for Robbie Anderson over any semblance of bringing back the Dortch.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately,
that's a very good point. Is like if they legitimately wanted him to get more work, like this was an opportunity that just presented itself out of nowhere that you couldn't have accounted for. And they were like, nah, like we definitely need to add Robbie Anderson. They're like, we really need Robbie Anderson right now. It's like, that doesn't sound, it doesn't bode well for him getting any more work without Hollywood. So
wait till the mid-season Hard Knocks bump comes and sell Nuke for any first. You're never going to be able to get a 23 first for Nuke. Come on.
Maybe after one game. First game, he has 20 plus.
Never. No, not in today. Not with the way 23 firsts are valued. Not in today's market. Never, ever.
That's fair enough.
What about a Chase Claypool trade? You mean Chase Claypool being traded in the real NFL? Could be. Yeah, could be. I could see that.
I think it's kind of it's kind of walked back a little bit, the narrative, like that the team doesn't really like him as much. It's like, I feel like it was like kind of like a running thing that, the team just like they were fed up with his antics on and off the field, and like if there was someone that's going to leave, it's they re-signed Deontay, they drafted Pickens. It's like they were basically bracing for Claypool to be gone when his rookie contract's up. So I do think it makes some sense, but judging by this past weekend, he's their best receiver. So
I think he got more work because Freiermuth was out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was weird because Mitch all of a sudden seemed to prefer him, whereas first few weeks it was, Deontay's still the preferred target, and then we switched to Pickett, and all of a sudden Pickens is the target, and then we go back
I even
to
said
Mitch,
it during the game.
Claypool.
I even said it during the game that he kind of turned back the clock.
Who?
Claypool.
Oh, I mean, he did look like his rookie year, like
that's what I mean.
Where he was great, like he looked promising, and he scored all those touchdowns. The team found, good ways to use him. He had 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns that year, even
yeah.
So
he had 12 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree. He looked good, and he was by and far the most effective, most efficient receiver in that offense. So it's an interesting name.
Did you see the Steelers report today?
Which one?
When they made the change to Kenny Pickett, it's because Deontay Johnson went in the locker room at half and yelled at Trubisky.
Oh my
God. And they made the switch immediately after that because he wasn't getting targets.
That's funny.
Wait, he yelled at Trubisky?
Yeah, for not getting targets. And then Kenny Pickett came in the second half.
I guess they really care about what Deontay Johnson thinks.
You'd think he'd just have a few better box scores than.
All right,
because I agree. I think sorry. Last thing on the DJ thing, it's because I agree. Deontay, I do think is the best wide receiver on that team. I know there's been so much. There's hype on Pickens. I get it, but I think Ian Hartitz has tweeted it at least once or twice where it's Deontay put up 4 for 37, and I've never been more convinced that he's a wide receiver 1. It's when you actually watch him play, and it's I don't know. I'm still firmly on board that he's the guy in that offense, and I hope going back to Trubisky doesn't change that.
In Dynasty, give me Pickens in the years. I'll take the years.
Just straight
up.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I don't either, but it's tough. I don't think I could get there.
I'm already there. So, problem solved. Okay. Dobbins in a 4th for Rachaad White and a projected high 23 second before this week. Glad you did it before this week because you can't get this now. You can't get this now. I would take White. And the second.
Absolutely.
We take White over Dobbins straight up.
No, Ryan would.
Josh.
I'm not there yet.
I'm almost there.
I'm not there just yet. I'm getting there, but I'm not there.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think straight up,
I'll take White with the pick.
Too much. Yeah, but getting.
And I agree with this. I've been saying this about Dobbins. It's been taking a long time. I told him he should play week 1 and then say I was wrong, but he didn't do that.
I think that's the thing with is he didn't just suffer an ACL injury. He suffered an LCL and PCL and all. It's all this different other stuff in his knee and that's what I was saying before. It's that's why I wasn't expecting. I don't care what he said about coming back week 1. I wasn't expecting him to be full.
Well, I think people had his value based on what he said. So
yeah,
I cared. I cared.
Silly. I'm sorry.
Well, players say. So.
Players,
Players are liars.
I used to want to believe and believe what they said. If they said they're playing, whatever. And then we've just had too many incidences where Keenan says, "Start me," and he just
don't
everyone.
Sit me. That's what it was. He
over,
turned to the camera and was like, "Don't sit me."
And what did he do?
He cost me a game that week too.
Yeah. So I think as a whole, we're fantasy managers. We're I think we've kind of learned, especially now with JK as another example. He's week one, I'll be ready. And everyone's are you sure? And he's nope, still ready. Week one. And then sure enough, it's week 6. He still hasn't looked like himself.
All right.
So
let's go on to this trade. Traded Pickett, Miles Sanders, and 223 seconds for London, Jacobs, and a 23 third. That's kind of random.
Pickett, Sanders, 23 second.
No, I want London.
London
Even in
over
Superflex,
Pickett.
I want London. I'd rather
I
have
still think
Jacobs over
so.
Sanders.
That's pretty even in my mind. I'll
don't
take
trust
Jacobs
Sanders
versus
at all.
Sanders. I'll take, but then there's the second versus the third. Yeah,
That's
it's
nice. 2
it's a
seconds.
pretty even trade. Oh, 2 seconds. Ooh,
Yeah.
oh.
So I think
I'll
that's a
still
little
take
bit
London.
interesting, but I think
London's the
I mean,
best piece to me.
Yeah, I think
Even
it's
in
intriguing with the 223s and Pickett obviously in Superflex format, but I think I do agree where I think you're still getting the best player in the deal in London.
Yeah. All right, here.
So-
Let's run through this
Yeah.
and then I'll take us out. Williams or Sutton tonight. I have Williams ranked higher. I would go with Williams.
Because of the Russell Wilson injury concerns, I'll lean Williams.
Yeah,
Even though Sutton's been so freaking consistent and he's up 6 and against Everett, it's like it's a little tempting just because
this week I had Williams at 12 and Sutton at 14.
yeah, it's a little tempting.
Taking Sutton.
Sutton's a little safer, it feels like almost,
Is
right?
he?
With
Feels
the
like
injury
it.
to Russell Wilson, he's not, I guess.
Pat Ricard's a fullback. Yeah, the Duve. That's
The
funny.
dude, I like that.
Yes, it's so true that top quarterback ones are irreplaceable in Superflex. We know. London is for sure elite. Top 5 wide receiver, no and no.
306 and a second chance startup. Goodness.
Conan, he likes your zap pun.
Appreciate
Dynasty
it.
price check, Hollywood or DJ Moore? Now that Hollywood's not going to be out for the whole year, I think I'll just go with Hollywood.
I definitely would have said DJ Moore, knowing if he was out for the year. It's close. It's very close.
I'll go Hollywood.
They're about the same age, right? I think Hollywood's probably
Almost
half a year
exactly.
older than
Hollywood's 2 months younger.
you. Oh, 2 months younger.
Yeah, June 97 and April 97.
I'll go Hollywood.
Me too.
It's really close though, for me.
Yeah, but what if it's like the Dak and Tony Romo situation? No, I'm kidding. 4th round pick coming in, unheralded 4th round pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean-
it's got to remind people of the just Tom Brady, Drew
Tom
Bledsoe,
Brady,
right?
yeah, Drew Sure,
But-
Drew Bledsoe was a lot more accomplished than Mac Jones.
I know.
Just
Just the fact that Bill Belichick's capable of doing that is, but we already have
They
that
just
conversation.
said Dak's going to be clear tomorrow or the next day, and we'll
Oh
be
no, Dak
practicing
is
this week
playing.
and stuff.
Dak is
and-
playing this week.
Yeah, no. Cooper rushing to the bench. Bye.
Yeah.
Would you trade in Dynasty? Would you trade JT for Ramondre and CD or AJ Brown? I would.
I would
with either
too.
one.
I would absolutely.
I'd rather have
Yeah.
Lamb, but I'd do it for either one.
I'd rather have AJ Brown.
I mean, Lamb's been getting more targets lately.
But with Cooper Rush, though, is that going
Yeah,
to
but Dak is coming back. I think that'll make it better, not worse.
I think they're in the same tier. I'll
they
put
are. To me.
Lamb
They're back
ahead
to
of
back,
AJ
but I'd rather
Brown.
have Lamb.
Yeah, I'll put Lamb ahead of him, but they're neck and neck.
But either
one.
way, I would do it either way.
either one.
Okay. Trade
Jeez.
Walker or Damian Pierce for Nuke? I would.
You have Sutton, Lockett, Godwin, and Jacoby.
I would not do that.
Brees,
Running-
Damian, Walker. Yeah, don't
wouldn't do that.
Don't do that. Can you trade Henderson for Hopkins?
That might
honestly?
be smarter. Yeah, if you could
Right?
trade Henderson
Yeah.
for Hopkins, I might do that.
That seems a
That
lot
one
better.
could be a good idea. All
Very
right.
much.
The trade finder is much more valuable than the calc. It needs to be updated values weekly in season. Yes, the DLF tools are based on a lot on the monthly ADP, which is updated monthly. So that does
better than yearly.
better than yearly. But yes, that is one of the issues with any trade calc is that the input data just is not updated fast enough. That's why humans always have a place in this industry.
I think
We're quite a while away from a computer being able to replicate even one human, let
But
alone
Tyler, those
bunch of
IBM trades on ESPN Redraft, they always
they're
recommend
so
such
great.
good
You know,
trades.
Fuck that.
yeah. I think one of the
totally.
biggest problems still is I know I've seen sites like, for example, Keep Trade Cut has it, but the value adjustment when it's a lopsided in terms of the number of players going from one side to the other, it's there's no sites and calculators that I've seen or used at least that really nail it, because it's no matter what, if you could just get the very best player in the trade on one side, and if you throw enough crap at the other side, it will even up almost.
The DLF one has a package adjustment, but I do often find that it's not applied very well.
See, and that's so it's tough. Like
I just am someone who, you know, it's I don't want people to think I'm picking on the DLF product. I just think that trade calcs are basically useless. I hate them all. I think they're all useless, and I would never use them.
And that's fair.
I've never found one that I found helpful.
I just use it as a baseline to make sure that I'm not going to have some manager pissed off at me for some trade I thought was really good, and he's like,
I just don't care. People are always pissed off at me. What else would be new, right?
Fair enough.
I don't really give a fuck. Damon says Hollywood or Kamara and Dynasty. I actually still take Hollywood. I don't want Kamara.
If you're competing in your running back, I'm okay with it, but I'd rather
not. But I get it. If I tell you my team, can you tell me trades I need to make? Yes, I can do that. We're not going to do that on this show, but I can do that. And He's capable of that. Well, I am capable of that. I literally do that. You can click on that link and sign up for my Patreon. I do that. That's literally what the majority of my Patreon is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on a live show, specific trade, please. Vague question, probably not. I need 13 points to win. Who do I start, Melvin Gordon or Mike Williams? I'll start Mike Williams.
I'd start Melvin Gordon because I need 13. I need him to not score 13 points to secure a win tonight. So you know exactly what's happening.
No. Mike Williams. All right, I don't know what to do. Melvin Gordon is still questionable. Yeah, no, I'd go Mike Williams over Melvin Gordon. After this week, would you sell Kenneth Walker for 23 first and second, or hold? Probably. I mean, it's gonna be early, maybe, but
yeah, if you know for a fact that first is top 6, I think I would like if that team is 1-5 or 0-6, and you're pretty confident that they're not just underperforming or something, and it's like, okay, I probably want that top 5 pick or whatever, but it's hard not to want to hold what you.
I have Kenneth Walker at Dynasty RB6. So.
Yeah, but do you have where would you place the top 3 running backs coming out? Bijan.
Bijan would be
top 2,
so ahead
exactly.
Of him.
And then Gibbs, Zach Evans,
maybe depends on
where he goes.
Yeah, that's true.
A little shaky when you go, but he's definitely gonna be top 10.
Yeah. So you guys wouldn't do this then?
Depends on.
I just don't know what
Depends on some context about these picks,
Yeah, I don't think they'd be early because why would you be making the trade for Kenneth Walker if you're not competing?
That's true.
Yeah.
In that case, I might do it. Deontay's a boss. I do like Deontay Johnson a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What should I get for Dalvin Cook? Yeah, that 50-yard touchdown might give you just the opportunity to get rid of Dalvin.
Absolutely.
Cook. Unfortunately, I have him in Scott Fishbowl where there's no trading, so I'm stuck with him. But
same.
In Dynasty, if you can get any first, I would just take it because the value's only going to go down.
Yeah.
But it's hard to trade guys like that in Dynasty. Could you get? I don't know. Could you buy low on Elijah Moore? Could you get?
You could get more than that.
No, way more. Than that.
I was I didn't even.
Yeah. It happened. It happened. Man.
He's doing it unintentionally now.
Yes.
Maybe you could get Elijah Moore, and Alec Pierce, or something.
Oh, I still want probably more than that.
You can't get more. You can try, but in Dynasty you can't get more.
What about more in a second?
That's what I'm saying.
Or
I think
a couple of seconds. That. But you're not going to get that much more. People really don't value Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And he hasn't looked good. That's true. Still remember when Miles Sanders said don't draft? Yeah, he's exceeded expectations.
They're liars. He knew he was going to be good. That's why he said don't draft me. So whatever people say, just take it the opposite way.
Obviously.
I think I'm just biased against Miles Sanders though, because I still don't have him that high in my dynasty rank.
He's looked pretty good though. Yeah.
For some reason, I just don't trust him.
He's always been efficient. He's always been a very efficient runner. It's just like give him the work, and he's gonna be good, right? That's what I'd say.
What are some trades to try to get rid of Javonte?
That's a great question. I'm in a situation where I've got a great team and I'm trying to trade
hard
him.
to get rid of.
I know.
I mean, you need
getting a lot of low
help.
ball offers, like Tony Pollard for him, kind of deal. You know, yeah. I know.
If you're Javonte,
I didn't realize his value had like some of the trades I did see actually happening. I was like, really? Like people are valuing him that low? I get like obviously horrible injury out for the whole year, but like I saw trades where it's like a second and a third or something, or 2 seconds.
No, I would.
And I'm like,
I would definitely.
I'm like, what? Like who is like I will buy every single share of Javonte for 2 seconds.
Would you trade Javonte for Cortland Sutton if you're competing? I know that's like kind of a weird one, but just
I know probably. I feel like you can still.
He's worth more than that.
Yeah, right. You should.
But we just said it. You should be able to.
Well, that's I think it depends. I think it depends on what who or how they view Javonte really. Because like I think it's like if you really know who Javonte is and like followed him in the last year, 2 years, it's like he's an excellent, really good running back that obviously got unlucky with his injury and was just starting to break into a much bigger role.
And so frustrating.
And so just absolute shafting by the.
I think Javonte for me in most situations is a hold, but if you have to get rid of him, do what you have to do.
Yeah,
but I think you have to accept. To me, really, just generally from what I've seen, is your choices are take less value than he's worth or just don't trade him. You're not going to be able to get the value that where I have him ranked.
Would you take Josh Jacobs in with a competing team, Tyler?
I had to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I don't want to do that. That's what I'm saying. Any trade that we're going to talk about is going to be less. I
know. That these are like the things I'm looking at right now.
You have to do in order to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Rank these wide receivers in Dynasty: London, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Kupp, Adams. All right. Well, Amon-Ra for me is number one.
He's legit.
And then I have Kupp second. Then
look at my rankings real fast.
Then London, Wilson, and Adams last.
Isn't that so crazy that Devontae Adams is the
because Adams is about to turn 30, so
I mean
he's just not going to be ranked. He's just not going to be ranked that high. Like based on I actually have Devontae Adams currently ranked higher than his ADP, but it doesn't look good. I wouldn't actually want to pick him there. I'd be like, I'm spending a top 2 or 3 round pick on a dying asset. Like, I really don't want to pick him. Kupp is kind of the same way. It's similar. Like, I have him ranked below his ADP though.
He's one of those. It's like you can't he's just too good though.
Yeah, that's why I still have him second on this list. But Amon-Ra I have first.
I agree.
I love Amon-Ra.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Amon-Ra has also proven a lot more than Wilson or London. Wilson's really had 1 or 2 good games, and London has had a target share and produced nothing. So Amon-Ra had a whole series of games where he was actually a wide receiver 1 for fantasy. And he's only 23, so 22 or 23. There's the Patreon link again. Boone
it's Rob
or Robinson rest of season. Oh, it's Robinson.
Yeah.
I would say though, I don't have Robinson ranked in my top 25 rest of season. That offense is putrid, and it's still a committee. I have Robinson probably around 28 rest of season.
Boone in the 40s.
Boone is in the he's in the late 30s.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some upside if
Boone
he is a pass catching back.
Boone is a worse version of what Melvin Gordon was. So Boone's in 38 to 40.
Yeah.
So I definitely prefer Robinson. You can start Robinson and expect something, whereas you probably really can't start Boone unless Gordon
He
is
got a
out.
lot of pass catching work last week, so I guess.
And I also think we've
that's
learned from the
sort of
previous
valid.
Mike Boone experiences that even if Melvin Gordon is out, Mike Boone is still not going. Somehow he's still not going to take 90.
I think
no.
there's a reason they signed Latavius Murray. He was inactive last week. I think he's actually going to factor in to some degree today.
If that's the case, then it's a problem. But I think it's more likely that Latavius Murray is just depth.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still.
But what I'm saying is if Gordon was out, I still think Boone would only see like 60, 70%.
Robinson is definitely the more startable asset.
Yeah. And I do think that they started to get Antonio Gibson a little more involved in the passing game. So I do think if either Gibson or McKissick went away, Robinson would gain value. Either one. But they're committed to this three-way committee, so kind of sucks. What would you move Pittman for in Dynasty? Well, now's a good time. I mean, he had a great week. But I don't know. I can't imagine that I'm really moving Michael Pittman.
I would need. I mean,
multiple firsts.
You would
I
kind
have
of need to overpay a
Pittman
little bit.
at Dynasty wide receiver 11.
There's no way you're getting multiple firsts.
But
Like
then
we've
I'm not
talked
moving.
about before.
I'm not doing
There's
one
only
first.
a few. That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't do a first and a second.
There's only
First and
a few
second's not
players
enough. I'm
that
not
are
moving
worth.
him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You're right that there are not many wide receivers that I would do that for. But then he falls into this category of wide receivers. T. Higgins is on that list. Amon-Ra, DK Metcalf, Pittman. On this list of wide receivers that I'm just not moving them. I'm not going to get the value that I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pay the value. I'm probably not acquiring them. And I'm probably not going to pay what it takes to acquire any of those players. Nor am I probably trading them away for what someone else would pay me. Those are just players that you just draft and mostly stick to.
I'm with you.
The kind of players I would put on the block and see what I could get are actually the even higher ones. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I'm fine putting them on the block because sometimes you can get an overpay. But the Pittman range, I tend to find that are very static. They're very hard to move. In my trade addicts 8, I've had Pittman, Higgins, and AJ Brown is kind of in that group also. I've had those three for a long time and have had no interest in moving them, no real offers. They've just been sitting on my team. I'm fine with that, but that's what's been going on. From Chris, and we'll make these, we'll finish up the chat and then I'll close the show. So, do you think Washington will actually start to treat Mclaren as their wide receiver 1 and he'll be good in fantasy again? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say no. I would prefer Jahan Dotson in Dynasty just because I'd rather have the years. I think Terry McLaurin, the career arc is getting to be too late. He's already 27. It's too late. It's too late for what this. It's DJ Moore in a year and a half. It's DJ Moore if there'd been another year plus of what DJ Moore is going through. For Dynasty value wise, it's too late. It's just too late to invest in Terry McLaurin. He's just too old to think about, well, next year it might be better. We're too far gone at this stage. So unfortunately, that's a no for me. Terry McLaurin's been a sell for that reason all offseason. Not someone I was investing in, not someone I was interested in. And he is now starting to plummet in my Dynasty rankings because that he's aging out before he's actually produced. So yeah, he's a hard pass for me.
I think we talked about it already, but I think McLaurin will get a little bit more targets, but does that make him that much more valuable?
I have Terry
Probably
McLaurin
not.
at Dynasty wide receiver 32, which according to what someone said earlier is exactly where he is this year in points per game. I have him at Dynasty wide receiver 30.
I will say I think there actually are people that think he gets like a legitimate boost from going to Heinecke because I had an offer that was given to me involving like me receiving McLaurin, and it was already an offer I was not like, I looked at it and forgot to click decline, but I was like, no way. And then they actually were like, wait, I don't want to give up McLaurin. He just got a huge boost. And I was like, okay, I mean, sure, that's fine. But like, I feel like there are actually some people that think he's actually getting a boost, maybe not significant, but if he's 32, like people might actually think, oh, he can go back to surefire wide receiver 2. And it's like, if you can get anyone to swap you a lower end wide receiver 2 or something for him, like by all means.
Yeah. And then Brian Robinson, 17 carries, second game. Yeah, but it's still a 3-way committee, which is annoying for fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, McKissick still has tied for
I know
the
it's
third most
annoying.
targets in the league. So, or I mean, RB targets.
Yeah,
But it's
sucks.
I mean,
But yeah,
I know. There's
But yeah, so this was a great show. It's the similar length. It wasn't actually shorter, but it felt shorter. I felt like I felt more energized. I felt this was better.
I had a great time.
So why don't we tell the people where we can find all of us?
Hey, follow me on Twitter. It's at Josh Fuster. Come on, at JOSH.
If you're still here,
let's go.
If you're still here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the red button down there if you're not already subscribed. Like the video, and then if you're watching this after, leave a comment below because that's actually the comments are what help the algorithm most, more than likes or subscriptions. So yeah, make sure to leave a comment, even if it's just thank you for the video or just nice video or whatever. Leaving a comment is actually what helps us the most in terms of the algorithm. But for everyone else, just thanks for watching. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all on AskDLF tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then back here next week on Monday, every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern with our whole cast, our crew that seems to be getting larger and larger every week.
Every week. We're going to have a full screen of just 20 people.
Until then, peace out.
See you guys.
Thank you.